Hey, want to see your suggestions drawn on a future episode of the Doodle Stream? Join me live every Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/MrHinkleDraws. But while you're here, enjoy this previously recorded live stream. And don't forget, as an artist, I require validation. Hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe for more art from MrHinkleDraws. What's up, everyone? Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Doodle Stream, where every Friday here on Twitch we spend 3 hours together while I attempt to doodle out your ideas and suggestions from the chat. I pick the theme, and you pitch the ideas. If you like the artwork you see today, if you like this stuff right here, don't forget you can find even more from me across social media at MrHinkleDraws. !socials in the chat. I am on all the things, all the places, everywhere. Would appreciate you joining along. And if you really want to help the creativity flow, please consider supporting my work over on Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. Let me throw that in there real quick. Patreon is it helps content creators by providing a platform for their fans to pledge continuous financial support. Tiers are as low as $1 a month and offer a wealth of rewards such as exclusive content, gifts in the mail, and opportunities to directly impact projects I am working on. So thank you guys, as always, for being here. I definitely appreciate it. Very much so. I also really love the second command that Brian added into the list there. That's awesome. ! Book 2. Yes, there is only 30 hours left on the children's book Pro Gamer's Guide. So if you haven't supported that one, you are literally waiting to the last second. So, you know, hey, it's there too. I appreciate any of the support I get across all the things. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Clocks a ticking 100%. Wasabi Savior 666 Joseph Zawada. The Patreon is worth it. I recommend it, and you can quote me on that. Absolutely. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. So today, we're drawing fantasy today. Today our theme is fantasy. This is not a patron-suggested theme. All right, so we've been doing patron-suggested themes for quite a while now. Many months, and we're taking a break for just a couple weeks because I launched another book, and I'm really proud of it, and I really want to talk about it. Not that I was not proud of the Pro Gamer's Guide. I still am very much proud of that. So joining me today on this stream to talk about this is the author of Grasslands, my dearest companion, L. Farnsworth Colson III, Esquire.
Wow, you got the whole name in there, huh?
The whole thing.
the whole enchilada.
Welcome to my stream, my friend.
Hey, thanks, man, for having me.
And I'm pretty sure you guys can hear him, but if not, please say something in the chat. I can see his audio levels going, but just in case, let me know if you're like, Kevin, why are you talking to yourself again? It's really weird. Look, see, and Joseph Zawada says that is an impressive name. See? Hey, thanks, Steve. Steve just subscribed with Amazon Prime. I appreciate that. Higher my volume. Okay, I will do that. Let's see, where am I? I'm down here. How about that? Is that better? I could also get a little closer to the microphone, I guess. Thank you, as always. John Y, nice to see you. Slash is here. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody. So, yeah. So, Lou. I'm going to call him Lou. He likes to be called Lou.
Yeah.
You know, unless he's trying to impress people.
It's true. It's true. Basically, Alphonse with Colson looks prettier on paper, but like Lawrence or Lou are names that human beings call me.
It does look very impressive on paper, I'll say that. So we are doing fantasy today because we created a fantasy book.
Yeah,
That's a thing we did, and so obviously
it's true.
we're gonna talk about it. And you guys, for those of you that watch the show all the time, I like to start off with like a warm up doodle, and usually this is from whoever was the patron that suggested the theme. So if they wanted cartoons, I ask that patron, what would you like me to draw before we start? And usually I kind of do half of it before we hit live, and then I finish the rest of it on the stream. We don't have that this time. So, Lou, who is this? What am I drawing?
Yeah. So this is Banana Man. He is known as the emissary of the Duke in the Grasslands. He is basically this sort of like Van Helsing-esque kind of figure, but he's soft on the inside. We'll just put it that way.
Was that an intentional joke, or was that just...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So this is a previously unseen character.
It's true. This is the grand debut of one of the most important and most serious characters in all of the Grasslands.
We've said that a couple times though. Like, this is the most important character, and then another one. Okay, this is the most important character. Look, Ho Ho Berry Berry's here. Hello, welcome. Nice to see you. Peel banana, peel banana. Yep. Yes. So I'm gonna work on this one a little bit. It won't take me that long. We're gonna finish this up, and then we'll start taking requests for fantasy-themed ideas. So as I'm finishing this and coloring it, Lou, would you be so kind as to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, whatever you're comfortable sharing?
Sure, yeah. So, I am one of the co-founders of Authocracy. So we're a next generation book publisher, and our big goal is to sort of, as the name suggests, like focus on the authors and creatives who make the content. We're really focused on highlighting the art and talent that we have, and what we do is we make these books, these serialized illustrated fiction books, where every double page spread has some sort of illustration on it. I kind of stumbled into this. I had written a book a few years back, and it kind of went a bit viral on Twitter for a little bit, and like low-key viral, not like high-key viral, but like there were people talking about
viral enough.
Viral enough.
Nice.
And it briefly hit number one on Amazon, and then Joe, our number one founder, he I guess caught wind of it, and we started talking, and one thing led to another, and now we make really cool books.
It's pretty awesome. I want to take just a brief minute to say, so Joseph Zawada asked, okay, how oxidized is this guy going to be? Is that the visual indicator of his damage taken? How bruised is he?
Yeah, that's I think with his species, the bruising is an indication of age, and it happens naturally.
The fact that you can just come up with the answer to is great. I just want to and also I want all of you guys to know that Lou is very confident that he's one of the most boring people ever. So you guys need to make sure to tell him he's not. He's not boring. Everybody loves him. We want to hear more of his amazing things and stories, and regaling us with his creative thoughts.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you, Brian.
Louis, I agree. Louis, the first thing is I agree. He's boring. And yes, Ho-Oh-Berry this is Tim, if you forgot. I did not forget. I did, but I thank you for reminding me, though. Sometimes I do need a reminder. That is very true. Very true. You should buy it for yourself and find. Yeah, you should. You should buy this book and find. Excellent. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions for Lou, feel free to throw them in the chat. That's why he's here. I mean, aside from just having conversations with me, but he is here to talk.
That's true.
What color are... I need to remind myself what color... Oh, of course they're yellow. Kevin, why do you even need to look?
Yeah.
Why do you need to look? It's been a while since I've drawn him, actually. It's been a little bit. Just look how boring this book is. Yes. Indeed.
Yeah, he's one of the more appealing characters, for sure.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Bubble Laveau says, hello, by the way. No sound for a bit, but like the banana. Hopefully you can hear. Yeah, I think people can hear us. What existing works influence you? It's a question for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I actually I pull influences from like a lot of different sources. So like for me, for Grasslands, some of the stuff that was like inspiring to me was kind of like this like latest wave of like really creative cartoons that are out there, like you know, whether it's, you know, Adventure Time, which kind of started this new trend, but also like projects like Over the Garden Wall and She-Ra. So like those things definitely informed how I think about Grasslands aesthetically. But and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, of course, with the whole kick-ass vampire person. But in terms of like literature, very much influenced by Neil Gaiman, Susanna Clarke. You know, I tend to like a pretty broad cross section of like high concept fiction, and usually I really try to push the conventions, push the boundaries of conventions in genre fiction. So even though, you know, Grasslands is fantasy fiction, you know, it resists kind of like leaning into a lot of tropes. And same for Prometheus, which was my first book, which was a science fantasy story. So yeah, high concept fiction tends to be what I'm most attracted to.
Nice. So earlier, after you were answering that question about the bananas oxidation, Joseph replied with, "That's great. It makes sense." And yeah, Tim's like, the deep lore. All right, I'm going to start working on this next one. And so Steve had suggested a Dragonkin from D&D. Would you consider D&D fantasy? Nice. I think it's fantasy, probably.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah,
for sure. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to start on that one next. It seems like there is a lot of interpretations of this character, which is fine. I think I'm going to go with this version, so I'm going to start drawing this one. I will let you choose which color. Well, thank you, Steve. Bless you. And Slash says, he does look great in my opinion. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So, Lou and I and Lou, me and Lou and I, we were booth buddies at a convention, my first convention in 2021, first of the year. Kind of first after all the world fell apart a little bit. Not that it's any more back together, mind you. But that is how we met each other. Not that anybody.
It's true. I was on my first convention ever. Had absolutely no clue what I was doing. Because never been on the circuit before. Always wanted to. But so I showed up with like this makeshift PVC piping like sign that I had absolutely no plan for how to like actually fix and set up, and Kevin was just basically like,
"What are you
like,
doing?"
Just tagged in.
Like, what are you doing there?
How's it going over there? And you were the only other person in the room. I thought I was gonna show up before anyone. But then like, nah, you were there, and it was like otherwise a completely empty hall. But like for the next like 4 hours, you just watched as I came back in and left again and came
Yep.
back in, like
This is true.
trying to piece together a way to make this work.
This is very true. Wasn't that? And am I wrong? Wasn't that Thursday? Right? Because the show was
Yeah,
Friday.
that was Thursday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, see, I thought I was kind of going crazy because that event, this was the Northeast Comic Con, for those of you that pay extra close attention to my life, in Massachusetts, is coming up again in just a few weeks, actually. And I was kind of confused because there's no setup on Thursday. And I was like, man, I could have swore last time I set up on Thursday. Setup is only like Friday morning. So I'm like, okay, all right. But yes,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
glad to
the
hear
the
this.
guy who runs it, Gary, he just kind of like has been rebranding it repeatedly
Yeah. It does seem-
since I went. Anyways, it hasn't had the same sort of like identity or even like name.
yeah, it does seem
For-
like it's one
yeah.
show that just changes names over and over again.
Yep.
And it's really funny because I asked the guy if he was planning to do this show again at the same time, because this was like June or July, I don't remember. August? I don't know. And he replied saying no, but that he was doing a music show. I was like, okay. But in the same exact venue with like the same guests and the same everything, but it's a music show. I was like, all right, well, whatever.
Music to his ears.
yeah.
I guess.
Let's see. Question: any plans for a GCU, the Grasslands Cinematic Universe?
Grasslands Cinematic Universe, probably not. Although I think the question is there plans for an Autocracy Cinematic Universe is also maybe not, but could be.
For a second, though, I was also maybe.
Yeah, we're more interested in I think like serialized storytelling, so probably more likely to do like shows and things down the road. But down the road is being the operative word there.
It's so funny. I give Lou a lot of grief because, as you guys know, I have, for the sake of my business, become somewhat social media savvy, and I laugh because the Autocracy Twitter account is going on almost a full year without having posted. And so when Grasslands launched, I was like, is this going to be the time? Will Grasslands come back to life and have a Twitter post? And he was like, will this be the time? No, it won't. I was like, oh, I was like, I was hanging on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh. Yeah, see, Tim knows. Look at that reaction.
No, we do definitely have plans for like various expanded universe stuff though, like down the road. What form that will take though is still very much in development.
Thank you for the question. Slash says,
Yeah.
fantasy is one of my favorite genre, yet it comes from anime. Although I'm interested in dragons and creatures. Yeah, Tim's like, my Twitter engagement. But what about the Twitter engagement? What about the tweets? What about the tweets? Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Thank you to the 12 people that are here. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you being here. We're drawing fantasy today. Exclamation point theme in the chat if anybody wants to throw that in. And joining me today is the author of Grasslands, currently on Kickstarter, seeking funds. We need help. It's still not fully funded, folks. It's still not fully funded. We're
That's right.
close.
It's
We're close.
only 92%. Yeah.
But it is still not fully funded.
You gonna put a tattoo on this guy's arm, like maybe a anchor, maybe some spinach in his hand.
That's
Like
silly.
make him a sailor.
Why would I do that?
Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, well, that's a good argument. I'm trying to make it look like a reference.
Oh, okay.
This is serious business.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Doodling
That's
is
why you
serious
invited me.
business. This is why you're here. This is why you're here. Yes. So, talk a little bit, if you will, about what you've enjoyed about creating Grasslands. Anything you want to just share. Anything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, the whole development process has been great. You know, Autocracy, we're a pretty young company. Really still just now, like really, I feel like getting a clear sense of what our development pipeline looks like. And it's been really cool because I feel like Grasslands, we fine tuned like a lot of that stuff. But like, just sitting in those calls with you and our director Ben, and just like talking about you know, these potential character designs and riffing off of each other. It's been tremendous fun. Like it definitely was. It's also amazing how fast we did it. Like the three of us riffing off each other. I feel like we got the whole set of characters. It's like over a dozen characters done pretty quickly. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, like what, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
I think I think it was like 3 weeks in which we did like 4 sessions.
I was like, here you go. Here's your characters. Here's your cast.
We were like, oh, this is done. Okay, all right. Guess we're ready to start writing this.
You know, to quote the internet superstar Brix O'Brien, I don't mess around. It's like, okay, we're doing this. Let's go. Those were really fun. That was a great introduction for me to to Autocracy as a whole, and like and the team. And I mean, you know, you never know, right? You go into it. I'm sure the same thing for you guys. Like, who knows about this guy? We have high hopes, but we'll see. But it was a great kind of like first few sessions, you know, and it was fun.
Yeah, I was actually over in England at the time.
Oh, that's right.
So
you were.
Yeah. So, you know, usually, you know, Autocracy is this English-based company, but we've got people all across this little planet of ours, and yeah, I just happened to be visiting over there at the time, so I was actually with Ben, and he was sketching. I'm trying to know, was he doing digital sketches or was he doing stuff on his pad at the time? I can't remember.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was digital.
Was it digital? Okay, maybe it was digital. Oh, it was like in between the sessions that he was doing stuff on his pad. But yeah, no, it was just really, you know, high and loose, and stuff just kind of came out pretty quick, and it was a good development process for sure.
Yeah, and I think I was also really happy with. I was happy with how happy you guys were with a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you know, I wasn't expecting to like bat 1,000, right? All right, it's all done, locked in. Here you go. I cannot do any wrong. But like for the most part, you guys were pretty happy with everything. I'm like, all right, well, done.
Yeah. And I mean, anytime when we made adjustments, it was, you know, very much a collaborative process. That's got to be like, I think the thing that is distinctive about our company is that, like, even though we're doing book publishing, we run more like a TV studio or something where all the creatives are kind of like working together collaboratively to develop the project. Yeah. And it's great because you get a lot of different like insight from people and different sensibilities depending on what their medium is, and it all just kind of gels together.
Mm-hmm. So Steve, this reference image I'm looking at, it's kind of like, I really like his skin is kind of like this, like lava almost, like orangey red, and like there's these, it kind of reminds me of lava, so I'm going to do it that way. That's how I'm going to color this guy. That's what we're going to do. And that's how that's going to happen. People are very regaled by us because the chat is like, for the most part, dead. So I'm going to take it that they are super regaled by what we're saying, and they love it. They're eating it up. Oh, you know what else? Hey, speaking of chat, there's some new emotes, guys. If you're a subscriber of the channel, you now have Luna Emotes, who is definitely the star of this book. And you've got Lost Emotes, who is definitely the star of this book. And then you've got some Ravi. So those are...
If you want to get a sense of who these characters are, the trailer on the Kickstarter, it's like fully animated. Highly recommend going and checking it out, because these guys are some pretty distinct personalities.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I did post... So obviously it's up on the Kickstarter page. And that would be the best place to view it, of course, because then it's so easy to hit the pledge button. But I do have it on my YouTube channel. I put it up a couple days ago. It's performing exceptionally well. It's almost at 70 views, which is very high for me. Like I was saying, the most of my videos tend to average 15 views. So that's kind of amazing. But it's doing really well, and it's fun to watch. Let's see. Slash says, I might need to do more research about that later. Yes, you should. Joseph, I had my suggestion in the chat box, was waiting for this one to get done. You're waiting too long. Waiting too long. Thank you, Tim, for exclamation point book in the chat. Appreciate that. Steve says, so this is likely a bronze from the way you're coloring. Is it? Is that what that means? That color scheme? They come in primary colors and... Wait, what did that say? Primary colors or metallic color. Interesting. So I am not a D&D player, but I have listened to Lou and some of the Authocracy people do these sessions. And they're amusing. I have no idea what's happening, but they're amusing.
Yeah, we've been playing for Tim, actually, who's in the chat as the DM for it. It's been pretty fantastic. I mean, it's kind of like what you would expect, I think, because you've got a group full of professional creatives that are just sort of like riffing off of each other. So it can only go so wrong. But no, Tim has done a wonderful job DMing that campaign.
The thing that really got me, so, you guys know, I haven't played. I don't necessarily have an interest. I won't say never, but, I don't, But what got me to even just listen was, we've got, a Discord server for the company, and the next morning, you'll log in, and there's all this nonsense. What on earth is this? In the generic area. And it'll be some really nice, awesome sketches of just things, characters, I don't know, that I always found really, really cool. And then also just memes and and it's I'm so lost that I'm okay, either
because there's no context because people are playing at the time, so they're not gonna type anything out.
So it's either just admit that you're never gonna know what's going on or listen. And I am glad that I'm I'll just open it up and listen while I'm working. And this wing back there, just about done with this one, and we'll do another one. We'll do another suggestion here.
Yeah, we got a small cadre of people on because it's on the community server, which includes some Authocracy fans, and slowly but surely people have been just joining the chat and muting to listen. Maybe we should do a podcast at some point.
That sounds like a good idea.
But I think it would be fun. The only problem is
promising, because
of those doodles and things. I feel like you miss out on some of the experience because Dirk, our intern, who's the youngest one, they're super prolific with their illustrations.
So
they'll pop out 4 or 5 during the session and still be acting the whole time.
It's really great though.
It is, yeah.
It's oh. And just having no context, it's just great. It's just, it's better when you have the context, but all right, there we go. That's this. That is this thing. This thing
awesome.
has occurred. All right, I'm gonna get you out of the way.
Hey, look at you! I didn't know you could draw.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I do it. Kind of depends. All right, you.
I love that color scheme.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the reference is a little bit more muted, but it's definitely like a lava skin and
Yeah.
like these greenish wings. Yeah, Joseph, a Doodle of Fame. Yeah, so that little thing, I mean, you know, you've seen the stream before, but yeah, in the bottom right-hand corner, that's kind of just cycling through some of the best of the best of the best doodles over the last 3 years of this show. There are hundreds, if not at least over 1,000 of these, and I kind of just picked out, I think there's 60 in there, but that does not include anything that's been drawn this year or like the last like month of last year. Yes, didn't know that. All right, so we've got a unicorn. It's also a horse, which I hate drawing. Exclamation point horse. Make sure we get that on the
Does it have
counter.
to be like a literal unicorn, or could it be a metaphorical unicorn, like a character from fantasy who's just like a one-of-a-kind character?
I mean, it's whatever we want. We're in control.
That's right.
But I would say a unicorn absolutely fits the fantasy theme.
Yeah, you're right.
What kind of unicorn do I want to do, though? I'm going to do...
Maybe one with glasses?
Maybe.
Just like glasses sitting on the horn?
All right, I've got a
A
reference picture
bifocal unicorn?
that I'm going to do, and you guys hopefully will enjoy this as I draw it. You'll see. You'll see. A centaur with 4 arms to match his 4 legs. Everyone loves to torture me. It's amazing. First time chat from Hammerman 20,000. Hello. How are you? Welcome. Ooh, an orc. That would be great. That would be a good one. Yeah. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for chatting. I'm about to draw a unicorn, and then I'll start another one in a second. It's ridiculous. Yes, I hate drawing horses. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, well, it's probably better that... Well, now you know. So, whoops.
Is it easier if it's like a pony? Like if you did like a unicorn pony, would that be easier? Or is it just the whole quadruped thing?
Oh, Hammerman 20,000 has been. I would have never... I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. I would never have thought that was your name.
I mean, he does hammer many things.
Oh, that's true.
Our boy Ben.
He does do that. That's true. Hello.
That's right.
Welcome.
So Ben, the man, the myth, the legend, is our art director, and he also happens to be a blacksmith.
You know, just
is super
sometimes.
cool.
Just sometimes.
Just casually. I mean, not casually because he's very good at it, but low key.
Low-key.
But not low key because he's always posting about it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He's a very multi-talented individual.
They're like, this guy's an author. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted because I was so excited that Ben was here. So, yes, I personally I really despise drawing horses. I think they look awful every time I do them, and it gives me no joy to draw horses. And my audience knows that, and so they torture me, which is why there's a horse counter on the stream. And horse keeps track. And when I announced, so if you actually look in my Patreon, when my audience found out I was working on Grasslands, they were wondering if any horses would be. And I was like, not. I literally said, not if I have anything to do about it. And
well, let me tell you, audience, the manuscript ain't done yet, so
please don't.
Maybe there is some room for
torture.
For some hoops.
For some torture.
Yeah, for torture. That's what I was getting at. Yep.
And what's even better is that one of my patrons is in the UK. I don't remember exactly where he is, but he's in the UK. And when people were like, will there be horses in this? And I was like, not if I have anything to say about it. And he responded saying, I'm pretty sure he said the publisher's in the UK. So if I can get the address of where they are, I can go. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Why is this something we have to do right now? Are you guys terrified yet of this drawing? I hope so.
How do you feel about like actual horses though? Does it extend to actual horses?
No,
or?
no. Horses are fine. I just don't like draw. I feel like I'm really bad at drawing them, and it like stresses me out because I feel like they look. When I'm trying to draw an entire horse's body, it just looks dumb. I'm like, why does that look stupid? And I mean, sometimes it's me psyching myself out, right? And people are like, what are you talking about? It's a great horse. But like, I just struggle with it, and I've struggled with it forever. And apparently, a lot of artists can also relate to this because I've had other artists pop by the stream before, and they're like, "Oh, totally, horses are the worst." What's funny is another one of my buddies who does art streaming. He was like, "Horses are easy," and on his stream, he drew a horse, and I'm like, "Dude, that's not a good-looking horse." And it's like, you know what? You're right. It's not a good look. I was like, yeah, all of a sudden, huh? So yeah, I don't enjoy drawing horses. Do you like drawing horses, Ben? Hold you up to the fire. Are you using one of those horse head masks for the? I am actually using one. That is exactly what I'm using. It's a horse head mask. It'll be great. Don't worry. You'll love it.
I mean, I could draw a horse for you while you're doing it, so you don't feel alone.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I thought the nostrils were eyes. This is making a great deal more sense. I don't mind them, but I have to use photo. Yeah, I mean, I can't draw. Oh, goodness me, I could never draw a horse from memory. That would look awful. I just don't think they look good. I try, and it's
I'm just so excited at this new knowledge of you that I can use for the next Christmas party.
Great. I'm so happy. Once again, this stream has given people more of my list of fears and things that I don't want them to know. So all goes according to plan. All right, we gotta. Oh, I was like, we need to add the horn. I'm like, oh, the thing is gigantic. I need to shrink this head of this horse. Let's shrink it. I think I did fantasy once upon a time, I think, as a theme. I mean, a long time ago. Because I remember one of the things I drew during it was a gelatinous cube. I think that's a D&D thing.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, what is this? It was kind of fun, though, to draw.
Slash Spryzen6 says, oh gosh, that does look great in my opinion. Yeah, I'm also kind of terrified a little bit.
Perfect.
Which, like, horses can be terrifying, so I think that fits the bill.
You know, when you look at them, it's like, it's all of the super tone buff, like, veiny muscles. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at a kangaroo, you know, that's up, and you're like, oh my god. Or like a pit bull that's like super buff. Yeah. It's like these animals that have these really bulked up muscles, and you can see the veins popping out. You're like, okay, that animal could kill me if it really wanted to.
For real. And then, like, you know, you hear like everyone talks about like how scared they are of like sharks and stuff, but like horses kill way more people than sharks do. Like way more. Although admittedly we interact with horses a little bit more than we interact with sharks. So there should be a Jaws-like film, but with horses. Is there any killer horse? There's got to be like a horrible B movie of like killer horses. If we had Nick here from Ghost Frickin' Talkin', my resident spooky expert, we could ask him. If you're lurking, Nick, you need to tell us if there's a horrible B movie of killer horses. His claim to fame, I mean, he's obsessed. He loves all the spooky stuff. Supernatural, spooky, you know. So anytime he's here, he always makes a suggestion that's like in that realm. So like we did a Thanksgiving stream, and he's like, I want you to draw the killer turkey from the movie, The Happy Thanksgiving Day, or what. I was like, really? But he makes it work. Always makes it work. You're 100 times more likely to be bitten by a New Yorker than a shark. I bet that number goes way up if you're in New York too.
Probably.
It's a good tip for anyone going to the New York Comic Con. Beware.
Did you say put glasses on this? Isn't that what you said at one point?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I was kind of imagining it like with the glasses, like with the brim, like on the horn. So like instead of a nose, you know.
Wait.
But then that would look really derpy. So I don't even know that.
So the horse. Wait. So the horse. Its horn is a nose, and
Yeah, well, no, like instead of because you can't just draw glasses on a horse, like its eyes are on either side of its side of its face.
But you want it on the horn?
Yeah, like like with the horn being.
Oh wait, you guys can't
where
see
the
this.
nose would be.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of... All right, I'm gonna get rid of this immediately. This I don't like this. We're gonna get rid of that. Ooh, Rivali from Breath of the Wild. That's a good one. I'm always a sucker for anything Zelda. Anything Zelda, I'm a sucker for it. I thought maybe you were trying to make this like some kind of reflection of yourself. Like, what are you doing?
You could draw like two monocles that are bridged around the horn, like they hang down.
Why do you want to keep putting glasses on the horn? I don't understand.
I just want it. I don't know.
The new Grasslands character knows a corn. You're like, you know what? You know what I want? I want something that makes absolutely no logical sense. I want glasses on the horn. Oh, I mean, Oh, also, I should mention, Ben's going to be on the stream next Friday, and since he is a fellow artist, he will be drawing along with me. Although Lou did offer, so it's like, well, let's play to your strengths. Conversation, storytelling.
It'll be quite the spectacle, Ben says. Some glass punnage there.
Let me just
glasses.
What do we got? There we go. Put a couple of these in the chat. That's good. There we are. Okay.
Hey.
All right. That's a very popular sticker, by the way. Of course, it should go. It should be no surprise.
Oh yeah.
No surprise that it is. But
I mean, landing that anytime between 2020 to now is like that's the perfect sticker.
Yeah, that is the perfect sticker. It is. So we got most of it is white. So just do some kind of shading here, and then we've got like start to fade. It's
like
brown. You get a little darker.
maybe just one lens, you know,
on the horn.
No, on the eye. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
good.
crazy.
I mean, you were pretty insistent. You're like, I just want it on the horn. Why? I don't understand. Okay, we can do something.
Thank you. This is the kind of high impact decision making that attracted me to being on your stream.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Look at that nose.
Yes. There might be another project coming up that has a bifocal unicorn. Oh my! Is there really?
Possibly. Oh. I might have been looking for a little bit of shameless promotion there.
Is that what was happening? That's what was happening. Yeah. There is a lot of stuff coming out this year from Authocracy as a whole. I will say there's a lot of very, very cool stuff in the pipeline. Okay, we got.
So when's your next show?
Back where it all started, Northeast Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
That is. Here, look at my calendar. That is happening in exactly 3 weeks.
Nice.
So that's the next one, and then I think I've got a couple like Easter themed craft fairs after that. I believe.
Now, if you're going to something like that, do you pick out stickers that feel like they're somewhere in the nebula of Easter related fandom?
So I did put a lot of thought into this. Like, should I
Okay.
try to tailor my offerings to the crowd or the show? And also from talking with other vendors, the answer is no. You should not. Because the stuff you think, like, you just don't know, and it's not worth it. You just bring your whole assortment. That's what you do. Because I was talking to some other craft fair folks, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, don't tailor it. Just bring everything." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, this seems like this would make sense, but apparently not. All right, we got a little shirt going on here. I thought
Too
the
bad I
tongue
was,
was on the top row of teeth for a minute there. Yeah, that's always the best, right? When you're trying to interpret what the image is before you quite know. You're like, oh, comes together. It's pretty great. Oh, you know what else I should mention? I lowered the exposure bucks cost for some of the video clips, because I noticed the last couple weeks they have like screeched to a halt. Nobody's using my video clips anymore. So I was like, well, maybe it's too expensive. So I did lower their costs quite a bit. Just so you guys know. You always earn exposure bucks when you're here and you watch the stream. And you can use that exposure bucks to play fun clips. All right, let's draw these glasses. Jesus. All right. There we go. Hey, what's up, Trekkie Endermom? Nice to see you. How are you?
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God!
Of course it's that one.
Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother! Jesus of Nazareth!
It's the best one. That is literally the best one. Could you hear it? You can't hear that, right? You can only see it.
No, I can't because I've got it muted.
Yeah.
But
That's you've probably seen it before though. You've been around these parts.
what? Is that Mr. Bean? Or
That
is
was
that...
Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
That is, so all my clips are like art related for the most part. The only exception is the Hi Kevin. That's SpongeBob. But they're all art related somehow.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. See, now it's happening.
You did these?
So
Yep.
that's a good one. I like that one. That's a heartwarming one. That's Michael Scott telling Pam that he's proud of her for her artwork.
Oh.
But yeah, the Mr. Bean is when he like accidentally messes up Whistler's mother and then redraws the face and shows it to the museum director or whatever, and he like loses his mind. But yeah, they're all like art related. That is one beautiful unicorn. Thank you, Bubbles Bo. Appreciate that. All right, where was that one that I thought was really good? I think, was it Ben that said it? Somebody said one. I was like, oh, was it an orc? I think it was an orc. Yes, Lord of the Rings orc. That's what we're gonna do next. That's next. When we did something so fanciful that we have to do something horrifying.
It's like more grounded. Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Orc.
Something that makes you
You're making
uncomfortable, one might say.
Big guy, he's just doing this for his art. Right, Homer?
Yeah. Art.
That's awkward. I tried to time it with the redeeming. It's like taking way too long.
It's a good
There we
one.
go.
Yeah, no, that's one of. I like all these clips actually. I think they're really funny. You're making us a little uncomfortable. Relax. He's just doing this for his art. Yeah. Art. All right. This is. I'm drawing the orc. There's two orcs I think about with Lord of the Rings. There's the like the really obviously the beefy one with like the face painting, right? Like the red. Like the one that we see get birthed.
Yeah.
Right? He gets like birthed out of the pool of goo or whatever. But there's another one that I always think about, and so I'm drawing him, and hopefully, as it comes together, you guys will agree.
Are you about to draw the one that wanted to eat the hobbits? Is that the one you're drawing?
I think so.
Yeah. I knew it.
I know the one already. It's great. It's like, this is it. Literally, this is all I drew. We did. I did a crossover special on Brian's channel a couple months ago, and we did a Pictionary where people had to guess what I was drawing, and they could win some prizes. And they were all video game related. It was all video game related drawings. We really tried to rack our brains around some that wouldn't be too obvious, right? And we started with a Minecraft dolphin. And so I was like this is what I was drawing. Someone got it. Like, that's what I drew, and someone guessed it correctly.
Nice.
I was like, how on earth? How on earth did you get that? And then another character, it was amazing. I drew this. Done. They guessed it.
Wow.
It was astonishing. It was astonishing. All right.
That's Timmy Turner's mouth.
It could be, but that's not a video game character. I mean, I guess it could be because I'm sure there's been he's probably been in video games, but
yeah, I would imagine so.
It was an Undertale character.
Undertale, love it.
Which I haven't played, but I would like to. I think I'm like getting way too bogged down with. I need to do like the head shape and stuff first. I don't even know what's going on.
Did you ever see that YouTube video of the someone redubs the orcs arguing, but with like normal people voices? It's so funny. He's like, man flesh. I want man flesh.
I forgot that he says that.
It's just like if you hear them without like all of the grunting and shouting and stuff, it's just really weird, and I love it.
I'm gonna have to change the. Right now, it just looks like giant lips, but that is actually an open mouth. I'll have to fix this. Got the spiky teeth.
Yeah, it looks like he's given the side eyes. You know, it's like the pursed lips with the glare.
Yeah. He's definitely.
There we go. There we go.
It's coming together now. He's doing the extreme. He's looking at the unicorn, really. That's what's happening.
Guess there's not a lot of man flesh in sight.
There's not a lot of man flesh.
There's a banana and some squirmy dragony thing.
I think this is what I'm gonna do.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna move this for a minute. We're just gonna take his face and put it over there for a second. I'm getting I need to get this head shape. I made an error. I dove in too deep with the details first. I need to get this worked out here. I love these ears though. These ears are great. These are actually the same ears I drew on that goblin that was getting roughed up by Snuffles, the barbarian.
Snuffles. That's got to be like the highlight of the trailer for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get this other ear here.
Love that boyo.
I would love to see. I might be going into trade secrets and future plans, but I would love to see like really cool little statuettes of the characters, like getting like a really talented 3D artist that can take. It's certainly not me, but there are these amazing 3D artists that can take more stylized artwork and then they just do such a good job turning it into a 3D model.
Translate, yeah.
And it doesn't lose the style, but it's also, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
It's a special skill, and it'd be really cool to see some of the Grassland characters as little statuettes, little nicely modeled. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, we were joking around the other day about making a Grasslands chess set Because number one, like absolutely, it would be cool to have them in figurine form. But also, like,
because
could you just imagine?
absolutely.
It's just such a bizarre cast of characters. I don't even know.
Yep. You gotta lower his ears. He needs to get a haircut. His ears need to get lowered. All right, let's see. Go down like there.
Yes, Hammerman 20,000. Could the squares be 2 colors of grass-like felt? Heck yeah, Ben.
Nice.
It would look cool. That would look cool.
All right. We need to figure out what we want to do for our theme next Friday, Ben. Think about it. You got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Because we're doing fantasy, so we can't do fantasy again next Friday. That's not, we can't do that. Can't do that. Gotta do something else.
Sword and sorcery. Ooh.
The theme is horses.
That's like
How
so-
dare you?
The theme's horse.
I already did this. I already did this. I had to do this. I had patrons suggest a horse theme, and I promised that patrons can make a suggestion, and I'll do it. And I did it. I already did 3 hours of drawing a horse. Please don't make me do more of it. Actually, I already know I'm gonna have to do more of it because I told them that there's no limit to how many you can suggest as a patron. So if you wanted to do more, and he already suggested horses part 2. So, yay.
What day of the week is that? That would be March 4th?
For what?
Ooh, you know what's coming out March 4th? The Batman.
Oh, for the stream next week, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always Friday.
Yeah. Well, no, I knew it was Friday, but like what day of
What
the
number?
month? Yeah, what number?
Gotcha.
That's right.
Gotcha. I understand now. It all makes sense. All right, I can get rid of this now. You can go away.
Yeah.
Comic book theme? Yeah. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson theme.
The whole
Isn't this like a weird like array of movies? What you do like Twilight, Batman, and then didn't he have like some really weird avant-garde film that he was in? I'm trying to remember the name.
He just did that Lighthouse movie, I thought.
Yeah, Lighthouse. That was it.
About?
That was it. Yep.
I heard that it was actually really good. I haven't seen it.
No, it is. It is very good. It's strange and off-putting, but good.
You know what's funny is I had visited a lighthouse in New Jersey with a buddy of mine, and it was really interesting. And we were like, reading all the like little educational plaques and stuff on the whole, and I was like learning about like the lighthouse keepers and all that. And then that movie, like I saw the trailer and I was like, I literally just learned about this. So it was kind of cool to see everything I had just read on plaques. Like it looked like for just the trailer. I was like, yep, this seems pretty faithful to what I was just educated on. John Y is here. What's up? Oh, John, you played the Hi Kevin clip when we started. I remember that. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Hands part 2. Oh, see, and I did a hands one too. They know. They all know how to torture me. Unfortunately, you have this knowledge now too. Please don't abuse it.
I mean, I'm just thinking like the whole like My Little Pony thing was such a phenomenon. Maybe Autocracy needs a horse-themed property, man. I can't. The market dictates, not me.
The market. It's the market.
It's the market that's causing this, man. I can't. Yeah, the rest of your career is horse-themed.
The irony is that I would become like a master at drawing horses.
I know.
And then I would forget how to do anything else.
Quite the story of triumph.
All right, He's got his big old. He's got a shoulder poof. Big old poof. Animal skin of some kind over here. All the horses have hands. You guys are just like evil. Keep it fresh. To keep it fresh. Man flesh.
Man flesh. That is absolutely the one I was thinking of, by the way.
Nice. Okay, good. He's probably he's the one that says that quote, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. It's like the two most visible ones, right? It's like that one, and then like you were saying, it was the big
other
Uruk-hai
guy.
dude with the paint that was like, like killed Boromir? Was that the same one?
He
I
killed
think it
lots
was.
of people.
Yeah.
That guy was a brute.
Yeah, not a nice fella.
All right. Colors.
The first hint was when he took multiple arrows and just didn't care. That was like, okay, maybe this guy's not friendly. Maybe he's just a concerning person.
I am concerned. You. We're 1 whole hour in, man. Good job.
Wow.
Good work.
Thank you.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. How do you know, like, and I mean, I'm sure that this is like the 50th time you've been asked this question, but like when you do the base color like that, how do you know like where to start? Like, because that, I mean, to me, as someone who's not an illustrator, that is not a color I think about when I think about goblins.
I mean, that's just me looking
But-
at the reference image.
Oh, okay.
To be fair.
enough.
To be
No,
just
but, like-
look at the yeah, and
You understand what I'm saying, though, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not. If I were doing this completely on my own, teaching myself, I wouldn't even think to do that. I would just think like, he's like a greenish brownish color.
Yeah, so I, as you can tell from my body of work, I favor very vibrant colors. That is what I like.
Yes.
And so even when I'm looking at a reference, I tend to disregard it and just like dial it up wherever I can.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, obviously I'm looking at a reference image, and in the reference, he definitely looks like blue skinned.
Okay.
He's got like a bunch of this like really pale splotching going on. But yeah, no, for the most part, I don't really do, like, I look at reference for 90% of this
Right.
program. I did, when I first started, my very first episode was like from memory, and I quickly realized I never wanted to do that again. I was like, this just is not great. But yeah, this is definitely like more vibrant blue than the reference is, but he's blue.
So the first step is like being able to accurately identify basic colors. Then
Yeah, that would help.
that would be yeah. Okay, I'll work on that.
Okay, thank you. We'll have a follow-up. We'll have a follow-up next time. We shall have a...
What a gentleman, that fellow right there.
Oh, yeah. Man flesh. And yeah, and obviously sometimes the drawings themselves just don't even come out looking good. It's just how it is. That's the nature of the show. It's like, oh, well, that's not good. Sometimes the derpiness is appreciated.
What do you think that his face is saying there? Do you think he's like like, to me it looks like he's put in some like red contacts and he's wondering if his fellow orc buddies know. Like,
Yeah, are you gonna compliment me?
guys, take a look.
Yep.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. See, Ben says every artist has their own.
Notice anything?
What? Yeah. Did you anything? Did you lose weight? Every artist has their own palette of colors. Yeah. I would say, like, for me, one of my big things I like to do, aside from earlier when I was talking about, like, I like to go super vibrant with my colors, but I like to shade white with blue So like I did with the unicorn, like I like to use blues to shade white instead of grays, because I don't know, gray, it seems very sterile and just like I like to use that if it's like metal or something, but if it's any type of life form, I don't like to use grays to shade white. So that's
it makes sense. It's like less vibrant for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what my kids are. If you hear stomping and stuff, that's my usual something. Whatever's going on upstairs. Always something, let me tell you. All right, we need to get. That's fine, I guess. I guess that's fine. Okay. All right. I think I want to go.
Oh yeah, get those cavities in there.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I want to go a little darker under the eyes here. So I ordered some more of my newly successful Doodle stickers because they were doing a President's Day sale. Because when I think of the U.S. presidents, I think of sales. But I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to buy some more product at a discount. So I bought 4 more or 6 more. So now I will have exactly.
Tim just cavities.
It's from all the man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true. So yeah, I will have.
I'm good.
Yeah. I will have 50 of the Doodle stickers now available for sale.
That's awesome.
I think I'm going to stop there. Finances aside, I think I'm going to stop right there. Let those cruise for a majority of the year. I was doing some thinking over the last couple of days of how I want to put it on the website, because that's been my big hiccup, is that I can put them in a tray for people to dig through at a show, but how do I list that for sale on a website? Aside from making a product listing for every single individual one, which I don't necessarily want to do. So I think I'm going to do some kind of... I think I'm going to go with the mystery thing, which people have mixed feelings about. Like where you're just going to not know what you're going to get until you order it. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, you know, like, you could have... I mean, totally unsolicited advice, but
My favorite.
you could, you know, like those when you go to a grocery store, they have those things that you put a coin in, and then you crank it, and it drops out a little. Yeah, you could do
bobble?
like one of those. Yeah, little one of those little
What's up, Ray?
bubble dispenser things. But then just put it in, instead of like putting it in. Like grocery stores, put geeky stuff, put it in a comic book shop. Boom.
Millionaire.
Right there. The empire of quarters.
Nice. Good ideas, man. You're filled with them.
Thank you. This is why they pay me the big bucks.
Insert
From
image
like
of
this.
giant deer. All right. I think that's probably enough. That's enough time on him. All right. What other suggestions do we have, folks? We're doing fantasy today. In celebration of Grasslands! ! Book in the chat. If anybody wants to throw that in there for me. Kickstarter actively. We are so close to getting funded. So close. It's so close. Ooh, a werewolf. That's a great one. That's a good suggestion. Trekkie Endermom. Hello, person with Kevin, says Bobo Laveau. That is L. Farnsworth Colson on with me, the author of Grasslands. Oh, yeah, and I forgot about Rivali. All right. I'm going to do...
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do... let's do Rivali first, so we can go back and forth between the intense and then the more higher spirited. And then we can do a werewolf next. Don't let me forget that. I'll forget because streamer brain is what happens. What's up, Matt Elder? We were just talking about you. This is my horse expert. All right, let's see. I'm going to do this one, I think. This shot. Hands? Matt, that is way out of brand for you to be coming in and dropping a hands command. Oh, there's the horse. I missed the horse one. Everyone who backs Grasslands is an official good egg for life. This is true. For life. For life. So yes, welcome to the new folks that are popping in. Nice to see you. We're drawing fantasy today in celebration of Grasslands, the fantasy novel that just a week ago went live on Kickstarter. And joining me on stream today is the author of that book. And he is
That's right.
not boring.
Certified not boring.
Certified not boring.
Just like what Gary says for the Northeast Comic Con.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he is more than happy to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions for him, maybe you can bribe him to reveal the secrets of Grasslands before the book's out. I don't know. That's his business. But feel free to engage him.
I see Steve was asking if I will be, or anyone from Alphocracy will be at the Northeast Comic Con. Not this time. They have been kind of upping the number of events that they have per year. And it's been, from what we've seen from last year, it's not very consistent in terms of how many people go. So we're definitely still looking at the one in July, because that seems to be like the big one.
Yeah.
But not for March.
And that's going to be that one that I told you that is also being it's there. It's just a totally different name. Because that's the one that he.
Right.
The music one, I think.
The music one. It was, so maybe not even that.
Because I mean, it's definitely the same.
Not.
It's the same thing, and it's in the same venue. But it's like that's the one that he was like, no, there won't be any CC, but there will be this. I'm like, that's the same thing. Oh, thank you very much for the follow there. Let's see, I can't see it. Crescent Moogle? I believe that's what it says. Yes, thank you very much.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
That is true. You know what? Thank you for that reminder. This is true. We don't make mistakes here. Got hands and horses out of the system. Nice. Bubble Levo says, how did you communicate what you wanted for art direction to Kevin? Just the story or character descriptions or napkin sketches? That's a great question.
Oh. All of the above. No, we have an art director who's actually in the chat right now. Is Hammerman 20,000. That is his legal name. But sometimes we call him Ben. Ben as our art director kind of shapes the discussions around how we do character design, and he's darn good at it. Yep. So, hope that answered that question.
Yeah. He's a great, artist in his own right as well.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, no, like I would say Autocracy, like, we all have the roles that we play in the company, but at the end of the day, we're all just like artsy, nerdy people. So it's just a very collaborative process of like, ooh, what do you think about this thing? And then you just kind of build off each other. And just, I don't know, it just kind of flows. Like, I never felt like with Grasslands, for example, Kevin, I never felt like one person dominated the discussion for any of the characters, really. It was just kind of...
Yeah, no, I don't think
what do we want to try to communicate? First attempt at it, okay, like, how could we maybe iterate on this? And then, yeah.
I would agree. Let's see. Matt Elder says, what was the best thing about working with Kevin? Thank you, Matt. That check is on the way. This is what Joe would say. These Kevin zealots. That's what is coming. Go ahead. Sorry.
Kevin's a delightful human being. Working with Kevin has been great. He's got a good sense of humor, and we both, I feel like, pretty much immediately gelled on a vision for Grasslands as a project, and it's just been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how I was saying that, like, I don't, it's not like I ever expect to do something and it's like, it's perfect. As soon as I put pen to paper, it is stellar. But a lot of the initial stuff landed pretty well.
Just clicked.
And so
yeah.
There wasn't, really wasn't a ton of versions. I think probably there was only 2 characters that kind of went back and forth a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. Everything kind of hit pretty well.
Surprisingly, those weren't some of the main characters either, too. From what I remember, the main characters is just like instant click. Like, yes, oh, that's Luna.
Rivali's getting
like I could not imagine Luna looking any different than she does.
Yeah, not now. Now it's done.
Yeah.
Now it's locked. You can't it's one of those things where once you've seen it, you can't imagine it another way. It's just like, now, it's it. It's done. Until like a studio reboots it or something. You're like, well. Thank you, Ben. Kevin is delightful. You guys are too kind. Ray asks, once you guys hit that goal, got any fun ideas for community engagement on the campaign? Contests or more live streams or stretch goals?
Yeah, so currently I would say that we are drafting up some ideas on what to do for stretch goals. We have a few really good ideas of like how to go about that. I think once we get funded, we're very much about like communicating with the fandom and the community. So like we're gonna send out messages and be like, okay, so what stuff are you most excited about, and like what would you like to see more of? And then what we'll do is we'll iterate based on that. We have some ideas, and we won't just like have it be a blank canvas thing. We'll reach out to you with like some ideas of what directions we could go with things. But yeah, funding is just the beginning for sure.
Very good question, Ray. Ray is also a Funny Figs, aka Funny Figs is Ray. Ray is Funny Figs. They are one and the same. He has done a successful Kickstarter himself just last year for his first independent comic, and that was one of the projects that I backed. And he's also been super helpful about giving just advice and stuff to me in the art biz. He's also very well traveled for the convention circuit.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I mean, I think the big live stream thing is just, you and me talking today, and then next week you've got Ben coming on. And definitely if there's...
I'm sorry. I just saw this comment that threw me totally off.
Oh.
This Grasslands. Kevin has been saying he wants to do a battle scene with lots of characters on horseback charging in a battle. Can that be in the book too? That is not... You don't need to acknowledge that comment.
I mean, if a backer brings this up as something that they want to see, I gotta take that into consideration.
This is true. He what he failed to mention is that he'll actually be the one drawing that one. That'll be his grand entrance as artist.
Oh man.
What's up, Art? We got Arctic Arts in the house, which reminds me, got to give a shout out my fellow art Twitch streamers. Art does a lot of art streaming as well. Spare Kevin this pain. Thank you. Whose idea was it to create a dog barbarian with death in his eyes, as my daughter describes him?
I mean, he originally was my character idea, but Kevin brought him to life so very well, and I think Ben is our art director. He's very into like sword and sorcery, like Conan the Barbarian kind of vibes, and so I think it just Yeah, it just kind of another example of it kind of coming together. But
Yeah.
more or less, that was kind of my vision for him.
Yeah, there was some like so I got like a brief, like a pretty high level like breakdown of what this person is, and then there was what was really helpful is that there was like some like existing media reference, right? Like kind of take inspiration from this franchise or this property or this whatever. That was really helpful actually, because it kind of just mentally got me in that area of thinking of what you were looking for,
Yeah. I think there's this sense of like when people are trying to do any sort of artistic work and they're like really scared about like, oh, I don't want to copy this or that franchise and like need to do my own thing, and like is correct. That is an important thing to keep in mind and to avoid. But there's a difference between like drawing inspiration from sources that have mattered to a creative, like over the course of the formative years of their life and like how they came to be passionate about storytelling in the first place. There's a difference between that and being like, here's a reference image, copy this, but make it look like it's me. We very much I feel like Autocracy, we tend to wear our influences on our sleeves, very very much so. But then it's more like I feel like the conversation oftentimes breaks down to like, I want to capture a feeling like this.
Yeah.
And then like, how do we do that? Okay, well, here are some examples of it in media. How did they do this that worked really well? And then that kind of it evolves from there. So that's like actually a really cool process. I enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, and like I said, it was very clear for me that it helps me kind of think about what I need to do. So from that standpoint, it was a welcome direction.
Yeah.
Let's see. Doing good. Working on another VTuber model. Nice. Make that VTuber money, man. Let's see. There's a slight glimmer of hope. No, that wasn't any hope at all, Matt. Don't take that as hope. Nope. Horse battle. I like how he's like, what tier do I need to support a Kickstarter at to be in the horse battle? It's like, oh, why? Interesting. Interesting.
Seems like some pretty sustained campaigning here for a horse battle.
That's because they enjoy torturing. They're a torturous bunch. Don't see.
Gotcha.
Do you want to be taking suggestions from people that want to torture people? Is that what you want? Ask yourself.
I mean, it's not our standard business practice.
Yeah. Bubble Loaf says, "Can you tell us who the whole team was for the book?" That's a good question.
Yeah. So we have 3 primaries working on it. So I'm the original author of the manuscript. We have Kevin here, who does the character illustrations, and then Sarah Hala, who is I believe Slovakian-based artist. Is that right?
I think so.
Do you remember Kevin? I believe so. She's amazing. She's doing the environments, but these are just like kind of the front page names. Everyone in the company is involved at some level, whether it's Ben doing art direction work. He was involved from the very very beginning, or like our CEO Joe. He'll oftentimes kind of be a great springboard for different ideas on how we could take the story. So it really, the names that you see on the cover page are only the surface of the story. Every single one of our properties, I would say, each person in our community has a fingerprint on there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Crescent Moogle says, "Are you currently taking drawing suggestions?" I'm going to be. Well, so after I draw this, I'm going to do a werewolf, and then I'm going to take suggestions again. Soon, very soon. Let's let's see. We need a single 1 million horse tier for every Kickstarter. A clean mill. 1 mil and you got it. It's yours.
I mean, I could see even doing 10 $1,000 horse tiers.
I'm glad you can see
one
that.
Horse. Yeah, I can.
That's really
You know,
nice of you to see
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That's right. Ben's gonna step in and save the day and do all the horse drawings. It'll
I
be
know,
great.
he's
It'll
so
be
nice to
fine.
you.
It'll be fine.
1 million rupees.
You're
Sign
gonna
me
see.
up.
You're gonna think that you like pulled one over on old Kevin, and then you're gonna get the book, and it's like with additional drawings, thanks to Ben. It's like, well, what were the additional drawings? He actually drew all the horses.
Tim says that's why he's the creative director, Kevin. He sees the lines.
This is true. This is true.
It's a nice
No.
Matrix call out there.
Yes, I'm gonna have to. Just a second. I gotta run upstairs and grab my battery. Once again, I have failed to charge my phone before I started, so now I have my 10% warning, which means I'd have no reference images, which I'm sure would be very entertaining for all of you, but not as. Oh, this is supposed to all be blue up here. Actually, it stops like there. Interesting. Okay. My hand hurts, guys. I can't do it. Thank you, Ray. Ray's throwing pennies at me again. Take it. Take the penny. Only been doing it for 4 years. What are you talking about, Ray? Are you behind? Are you behind in chat? What do you mean? What have you all been doing for 4 years? Matt, Kevin, AFK, we can get horses approved into Grasslands while he's away. Don't do it. Don't listen to them. Are you still there, or did we lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here.
I was
Sorry.
like, oh.
Just reading chat for a second there.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's get. All right, I'm gonna do this beak, and then I'm gonna run upstairs and grab this.
So, what was your favorite Legend of Zelda?
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Hey, what's up, Panda? Welcome. Nice to see you. Ever. My favorite Zelda ever. I mean, I'm usually torn between Skyward Sword. I really actually enjoyed Skyward Sword a lot because I am a hardcore Zelda fan, and I love all of the story behind it. I have like all the official Dark Horse encyclopedia books and everything for it. And Skyward Sword was like, we're gonna explain everything. Here you go. I'm like, thank you so much. It was so like I loved all the story on it, a lot. But then Ocarina of Time is so amazing. Like that's probably the one that I could replay the most amount of times and never get bored of it.
Sure, yeah.
My first one was A Link to the Past on the SNES, and so that one has a very special place in my heart. Like they're all so good. Like I feel like if I absolutely had to pick one, just one, I guess it would be Ocarina of Time because I could just play it forever.
Yeah, I mean that game is infinitely replayable. Although I do wish that they would. It's like one of the things that Nintendo I wish that they would do more of is like porting forward remasters that they've done.
Yeah.
Like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker was redone for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
already done in HD graphics.
Yeah.
It just isn't available because they won't port it.
Yep. Don't even get me started on this. All my peeps know about my Earthbound obsessions and how. I mean, thankfully we just got a really cool announcement for the first and Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings on Switch was really cool. But Mother 3. All right, let me go get this battery. You're in charge. So
Okay.
make sure you don't let them manipulate you into making me draw horses. That's my only request. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, chat. I need some insight. What are things does he not like drawing? Hands. Okay.
9 a.m. Time to let the class in. Well, don't want to
So like as many hands as possible.
to art class.
Oh, is
Hands, horse. Tony Stark, really? Okay, great. This is that it's good info. Thank you. Train raid. What's the train? Was that reference to Doodle of Fame or? Oh, gotcha. Oh wow, yeah, we've got 26 people. My gosh. Welcome everyone. It's awesome. Thank you for coming. Baba Lavu, is that right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
That's Bobo
Apologies if
Laveau.
it's
What are you
wrong.
doing?
Lavu? Okay.
Bubba Laveau.
Laveau. All right.
Yeah.
How did you coordinate the art between the two artists to ensure a composed vision? So that is actually something that happens pretty early on in the process. Typically speaking, when we first are envisioning creating a new intellectual property, we're really first we look at the artists that we have on hand. We think like, okay, like who would be a good fit for the character art, who would be a good fit for the environment art.
Did I miss a raid?
Then...
I literally left. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
That's all right. So yeah. So we think about who's already there. If we don't feel like there is a good match, then we start looking around and seeing, checking our contacts to see if there's someone who would be like a good fit for that. But it all kind of happens before the IP even starts getting developed. Because I think, in terms of like the core creative team that's developing these IPs in the early stages, we oftentimes are already thinking about like what general aesthetic we're looking for, and then you just sort of iterate off of that until you find something that works. And then once you do that the hard work's already done. It just kind of comes together.
Sorry for missing the raid. Matt's like, you had horrible timing. It's like, yeah, apparently I did. Thank you for the raid, Echo Rider, and hello to everybody that came over. I'm sorry. I had to go get my battery. My phone was dying, which is my reference. It's my reference tool. Otherwise, this all comes from memory, and it's awful. So thank you all. Nice to see you. I'm an artist. I draw every Friday on this little show here called the Doodle Stream, and I take your suggestions and I doodle them. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not good. That's okay. And yes, today, have a guest with me because I just launched a fantasy novel on Kickstarter called Grasslands, and the author is here with me on the stream, and my chat is trying to manipulate him into making me draw things I don't want to draw. There you go. Now you're caught up. But yes, thank you for that raid, Echo Rider. Hope your stream was awesome today. Nice to see you again, as always. Appreciate it, and thank you to everybody in the chat who was filling in the blanks while I was gone. When were they bad, Kevin? Sometimes they're bad, Ray. Don't lie. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they're not good. Hinkle called for raid and Echo answered. Did you already see this question? What was it? What was it that made the other artist a good match for Kevin? Was that what you were answering when I showed it back up?
Yes. I think that was the one. Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. Yeah, that was, for me personally, that was really fun when I first saw Sarah's environmental artwork, and I, the like kind of our test, I guess, if you will, was like, draw on top of this. I'm like, you got it. And
that was uncanny. Like,
it worked.
How
it
fortunate
worked really
we were
well.
to find her. Yeah. Excuse me.
All right, there we go. I think that's good. So Werewolf is next. That's the next. That was from. I can't remember who suggested Werewolf, but that was a good suggestion. If you're still here, feel free to say that was me. All right, Rivali, get over here. This is not man flesh. This is bird. It's chicken. All right.
Do we want to do just any old werewolf, or do we want to do?
I've drawn 2 werewolves. I've done 2 for Grasslands specifically.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe you guys know. Maybe you don't know. Ray's like, I want specific examples of bad ones. Okay.
Arctic Arts says, I'm kind of curious how you guys went about marketing it. That's always the part I struggle with. Yeah, I mean, I think that's honestly probably the hardest part of being either an independent creative or an independent studio in this day and age, is getting the word out there about what you're doing. It is really, really hard. The answer is, you got to do a lot of, especially when you're starting out, you've got to do a lot of grassroots campaigning, connecting with your core audience, whether that's just people who are aware of your work, friends and family, just coordinate with them. And then it's just kind of a game of beating the algorithm. Essentially, in order to get attention on like these large platforms, whether it's Kickstarter or Amazon or whatever like environment you're competing in, essentially what it looks for is volume over time, right? So you want to get as much traffic and as many people supporting your project as possible in as short amount of time as possible. Essentially, if you do that, then you've done everything you can do. Aside from, if you have like a budget for advertisements or, any other sort of marketing strategy that a marketer might know about. That's when you're getting into like having an actual marketing team and a large budget and things. But for independent artists, what I just described about like the grassroots model, that's kind of how you have to do it if you want to play the game.
Yeah, gotta play the game. Ark, you gotta play the game, man. Ark is another, as I mentioned earlier, another Twitch artist here, does streaming a couple times a week, and I've been encouraging him to get out there and do some more of the art biz things, like selling your stuff at cons and stuff like that, like that part of the art scene. So I'm doing so obviously we do have a werewolf that's actually on the cover of Grasslands, and that's Ravi, and Ravi is a emote that you can use now. Look at this. Look, where is he? Hold on, where did he go? There he is. Boop, there he is. But I was thinking, there the old school Universal monsters, right? I have been asked to draw this werewolf a handful of times, and I've never done it. So I figured, you know what? Let's do this. Let's finally do this. I personally think this is one of the goofiest looking werewolves. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know the one that you're talking about.
He's got like a bouffant going on, but it's like the original, like black and white werewolf.
Yeah, it's like very intensely lit, sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I know the one.
So I'm just gonna do that just to finally cross it off the list. But yes, we do have a werewolf starring in this novel, and there's also, as I was mentioning, our really cool animated launch trailer has a second werewolf that I've drawn for Grasslands.
It's true.
That one's a little bit more evil. I'm gonna try to cheat here and do a decent enough job that I can just copy and paste and mirror. That's the secret. The secret sauce. I would love to know.
When you do like an exact. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say when you do like this is just another like art noob question.
Yeah.
But when you do like an image like that and you reverse it, like do you have to do a fair amount of work to like then like reverse engineer it so it doesn't look exactly mirrored, or does that matter?
Sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. Like it kind of
Okay.
depends. Like I try from an efficiency standpoint to do this as often as I can.
Yeah.
So like when I do a lot of my stickers, that's the reason that the faces are so symmetrical a lot of times, because it's just that's
Right.
not what I wanted to do. It's just easier, but it doesn't mean that I won't make it different. Like, you know, maybe a character is winking or doing, like, obviously that's a little bit different. Matt's like, cheating. Yes, absolutely. I would love to know. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ray. I had to take Earl. I had Earl Sinclair from Dinosaurs. He was one of the emotes that had to go away for one of the Grasslands. I went through the report and was seeing which emotes were used the least amount, and he was one. I know you're a big Earl fan, but he was one of the least used one. So, I was gonna say, I would wonder how many of the shots in the trailer from other artists could tell were reused, repurposed. It's like, you know, you don't always have to like draw every single time. Horse guy beat Earl. It's not horse guy. It's werewolf. How much practice do you think werewolf barbers get? I don't know. Are we being?
I would guess probably not a lot. I think I would guess that they average probably one cut, and then they're just kind of done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They might eat the barber.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's
Could happen.
if you can even count it as a whole haircut.
These are the real
Probably not.
questions.
These are the real questions.
So yeah, like I flipped it, but then there's like, you know, definitely harsh lighting going on here on one side of the face.
Listen, if we got funded tonight,
Oh, are we
I
making?
would seriously consider a werehorse guy for Grasslands. Just throwing that out there.
All right, listen to this man. He is promising discomfort for me if you guys can push us over full funding, and we're not far away. We're not far away.
We're
Exclamation
really
point book.
close, yeah.
Look, exclamation point book. I am very uncomfortable with what has just been promised, but you know what? For the sake of the project, fine.
Yeah, I think we're like a few hundred left on the goal for fully funded.
This is it.
Also, just because I like the idea of a werehorse guy.
A
I think that's a great idea.
werewolf sounds awful.
Were-
Sounds terrible. I am not a fan. Yeah, 600. Thank you, Bubble Levo. 600 to go. That's it.
Who was the first person in chat to mention the werehorse?
I don't. I actively avoid looking at anything that says horse. I don't know who said it first.
do you just get into like a kind of like state of shock when you see horse in the chat?
This is why there's
Like,
a counter. This is why I put an automatic counter. If you want to say it, just do it. Why did I just get a furious DM from Kevin telling me to cancel my pledge for the day? Take it back down. Take it back down. I need to do. Actually, he's got like this kind of stuff going on. It's like sweeping. Yeah.
Do you prefer like that classic horror stuff, or do you prefer like some of the new stuff that's been done?
I think the old stuff's kind of like, I respect it, but it's like too cheesy for me.
Yeah.
So my interest in horror is like psychological stuff. Like some of my favorite movies are like the first 2 or 3 Saw movies before it got awful. Like I loved that angle. Like I get that there was some gore in it, but like it really wasn't about that. It was about like the puzzles and the mind trips and the twist ending and stuff. So I tend to like more psychological thrillers, but I also like a good supernatural ghost stuff. I'm not into the slasher stuff. Like I'm not into the you know, that kind of. I've actually never seen a lot of those movies. Like I've never seen Friday the 13th. I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never seen Halloween.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm not really like super into the genre. Sometimes I'll get something that I'm like, okay, yeah, like this is actually up my alley. Like A Quiet Place. That was I really like that movie.
I need to say I haven't seen that one
It
yet.
was like, yeah, I won't say anything spoilery, but it was very like the stakes were very human, and it focused a lot on like the choices that they had to make, and like the risks that they took for each other as a family, and
It looked good. It looked like the kind of stuff I like. I was like, yeah, this looks like
it was just very human. Netflix actually did one that was kind of similar called I think it was Bird Box.
Yeah, I did see that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, similar sort of idea, and I felt like they did similarly a good job with making the stakes feel high because of your connection with the characters. Because that's always been, for me in storytelling, that's just such a hugely important thing. Like if characters don't like make you fall in love with them,
Yeah.
then kind of like what's the point? For me, at least as a storyteller, that's always where it's like that, and then the world building. Like, have you created an environment that feels like rich and unique?
Yeah.
Those are like the two major components there. But I always felt like, especially the Quiet Place, and like Krasinski's performance was phenomenal in that movie. Definitely a good one.
Ray says, tell him about the month of scary movies you did. So yeah, last, or I guess not 2021, but 2020, during the month of October, I said, you know what? I'm just going to watch like scary movies every day. And so like every day through the month, when I could, I would watch a scary movie. And I watched a lot. I watched a lot of them. And a lot of those I watched for the first time in my life. Like that's when I watched Poltergeist for the first time. And I consider myself kind of a wiener. I scare easily, I think. And so some of the movies I chose, I was being harshly judged. Like you realize that you like I watched the very first Evil Dead movie, and it is like intense. There's all kinds of claymation. Like I get really queasy when I see like old school Hollywood claymation gore effects. Like I can tell that it's like clay, and like it makes me nauseous. And like I learned that is the film I should avoid when I don't like that kind of stuff. And people were like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? I was like, I don't know. But yes, that did happen. Bubble of O asked, in the campaign, what is the art print.
Yeah, so that is very much up for discussion. I mean, we haven't like settled on one yet. Typically speaking, we'll have the art team get together and like pick out a few standouts that we think are some of the best. But we have talked about possibly putting it up to an audience poll for backers. So that's probably going to be a mix of those approaches.
What's up, Ken? We got Marlo Bricks is here. Matt Elder, Scary Movie 1, Black Beauty, Scary Movie 2, Seabiscuit, Scary Movie Warhorse. So the horse print could be horse driven. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
The horse print could be horse driven.
There's no
The horse print could be chosen if there are enough votes.
I mean, it's too bad there isn't one. Oh man. But see, look, now if the campaign doesn't get fully funded by the end, I mean, there's still an hour left of the stream, then there will absolutely not be a werehorse at all. Out of spite. Out of spite, there won't be one.
Out of spite.
You had a chance. It's gone. Let's see. What's the commands again? I think actually if you do type exclamation point commands, it tells you what they all are. I think. If I'm not mistaken, I believe if you do exclamation point commands, it'll tell you all of the ones I have set up. So I'm just about done with this one. Did we have any other... Do you recall me saying... there were some other ones I want to do that I thought were really good. I remember we were going to do Rivali, and then we were going to do the Werewolf, and I can't remember if there was another one, like, after that or not.
So there was one you were saying, like, after the Werewolf, I'll open up for...
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, yes, if
Yeah.
you guys have ideas, feel free to toss them out, because this is going to be done here very soon. Is his nose darker or lighter? I actually can't remember. Or is it like just...
Could give it like a pinkish hue, a little bit of that wink wink.
I think... Oh, here we go. I'm trying... Because it's black and white, so I'm trying to find a color image of it. It was darker.
Oh, yeah.
It was darker. So you know what bothers me? When I was doing...
What's that?
Oh, hey, first time chatter from Dave. Dave G 119. Is that the Dave? Hi, Kevin. I was finally able to make it. So what's this about a werewolf?
Werewolf. Yes.
I'm so upset.
Listen, I think the people might have this, man.
I'm so upset. No, Ken, there's not, unfortunately. Because I wanted to have like an automatic capture, but it just doesn't. It was not possible. Nice to see you though, Dave. That's awesome. Welcome to the stream. I've got Lawrence is here with me, so Lou is on the stream with me as well, helping me stay sane a little bit. Hawkeye Lego Man is here too. Hello, Hawkeye. How you doing? What was I was gonna say something and I got totally sidetracked.
It's something about Weremere?
Absolutely not that.
Okay.
Definitely
Just checking, man.
Oh,
just trying
now I
to
remember.
help you get back on that top train.
When I was drawing, going through all the like Halloween stickers, because I've done a lot. I've done like almost 30 of them, like monsters and stuff like that from different stuff like that. Going back to the old black and white films and then trying to add color to those was actually very frustrating. Because I thought it was not going to be that difficult of a thing. Like, okay, yeah, I get that the original source material is black and white, but the IP holders have done plenty of other products that have like given these things colors. Speaking of,
That's
yes,
dandy. Ho,
thank
ho,
you.
that's
Thank
rich,
you.
I'll
Thank
say.
you, Ray.
Now how about some color, stupid?
That's Daffy Duck saying, "Why don't you color it, stupid?" So thank you. But like, there's a lot of inconsistencies in the old black and white stuff on what they ended up coloring it like us, and these are like official licensed things, like like Frankenstein. it's very clear that Frankenstein skin tone is green. Like on everything you see, it's green, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it's like on all the licensed toys and stuff, it's like green, but it's like more of a dark gray. Really? I mean, I know it's black, but like, and then you have like the Bride of Frankenstein, and it's like, what is her skin tone? Is it just white, like stark white, or is it actually like pale green? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really frustrating. And then trying to like do the research to find what colors I should use was very inconsistent. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to take a leap of faith and just pick one of these that I think works the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's like before we had actual color cinema, you had like people like hand painting panels, and you had like that Technicolor technology, but that was still like people applying colors after the fact, right? I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it's
But yeah, it was just frustrating because I thought, oh, this is maybe a fan thing, right? So it's this color, but what's the official? But like when you go into the official licensed stuff, it's like, oh no, there's no consistency. Like actually, one of the hardest was Reagan from The Exorcist. Was incredibly difficult to color because practically every single licensed merch is a different like skin color, a different color for like the eyes, a different color for like the scars on her face. And then if you actually take the screenshots from the movie, totally different too. It's like none of these colors are consistent. Ooh, a mushroom golem.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, go with like, if Toad from Mario like grows up and gets real rough, maybe like that kind of golem.
All right, let's do it. And yeah, you got
All
great
right,
minds were thinking alike on there with 2 golem suggestions.
Absolutely.
And yeah, people are all about the weremere. Oh goodness gracious. The people versus Kevin M. Hinkleton. Yes.
The honorable Judge Lou presiding.
One day I hope so, Ken. I did like a lot of time. I was trying to set up like a bot command that could capture suggestions for me and like deposit it in like an Excel sheet or something. And apparently it's not possible, or I have not found it because I did a lot of searching and the internet acted like I was crazy. So I think a golem has to have like a giant bottom tooth, right? That's a thing.
Yeah. The Toad Story.
And should probably have a pretty big brow. Bolov says we're only 400 away now. Up over $200 for the way. Are you guys are not seriously pledging just to have me draw this, right? That's not real. Not real. Thank you also to the 21 people that are here. That's awesome. Nice to see all of you. I hope you're enjoying this. Whatever this is.
This is the start of a lucrative career in equine illustration, my guy.
I really didn't think this is where things were going to end.
Oh, I've got you, Dave. No worries. Weremere better be epic. No pressure.
Dave, are you making this happen? I swear to you. Okay, I don't want the tooth to block his eye. I don't think I'm... Okay, I might not be able to do a tooth. It's like blocking his eye no matter what I do. Okay.
Yeah, they're not kidding. It's almost funded, man.
Have a good one, Weremere. 259 away. People are not... but they're not pledging for this. This is a coincidence.
Yeah, of course.
It's not... It's nobody... Okay. I'm just not going to... This is like if I bring more attention to it, it'll just keep going, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to fall into the what is it? The Streisand effect, where if you talk about it, it brings more attention.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to... Not do it. All right. We need the... the mushroom top. This mushroom is going to have other mushrooms growing out of it.
Oh wow.
I'm going to blow your mind, everybody. It also kind of reminds me of Pokemon when they evolve and then all of a sudden they have multiple heads and stuff. Oh, all right.
Matt Elder says it's a shame you don't have a higher digital tier. International shipping is a killer. Definitely, we do actually have a higher digital tier though. There's the entry one, and then there's the deluxe version, which will have the digital equivalents for everything.
And I think, I mean, obviously you know more than I do, but because most of the operation is UK based, is international shipping a thing? Because I mean, aren't we shipping from 2 different locations in the world?
No. I mean, it most definitely is a thing. We can keep prices down for UK and US, but shipping outside of those 2 is real rough.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But yeah, no, we do manufacturing for at least our books. We're able to do it in 2 locations, but for other stuff,
Okay, I got you.
do US based and then ship. Yeah.
Understood. See, I don't know. I just draw stuff, folks. I just draw things. I heard we get to vote Weremare for the art print. Weremare plushie. What is wrong?
Listen, no one promised that, but no one said that isn't happening either. So yeah, take that how you want to.
I'm not taking it at all. I'm not taking. Why are we still talking? All right, so draw this mushroom. Mushroom golem is a cool idea. That was a cool.
No, it's a really cool idea.
You know what I'm starting to
Golems
feel?
I've always felt that golems are an underrated fantasy creature. They have like, have you ever read any Terry Pratchett?
No.
I will have to introduce you to him next time. Maybe I'll stop by at the Northeast Comic Con and bring a few books.
Just
but
in the neighborhood. I was down the street.
New England in the neighborhood, so less than 2 hours drive. Let's go.
That's true.
Perfect. All right, but no, he's great, and he's got golems in his fantasy setting that's pretty interesting. But anyways,
Yeah.
I see there's some Terry Pratchett love here.
There you go. Look at that. Yeah, nice. The people know.
Very nice.
So I'm thinking for like shoulder guards, it's like those mushrooms you see growing out of logs, like the sideways.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. I want to kind of use this for my campaign, my D&D campaign, actually.
Yeah, Hey, so in case people don't know this, another shill moment, if I may, exclamation point Patreon. I take all of the artwork drawn on this show every week. I save out high resolution files separately of each thing. I post it to Patreon. Patrons can download them and do whatever they wish. Commercial, personal, sell it, give it to somebody, turn it into a sticker, turn it into a shirt. Doesn't matter to me. It is yours as a thank you for supporting me. I guess I'll send it to you too, even though you're not paying. That's okay. I kind of know you. It's fine. But yes, anybody else, if you would have interest, I do that every week, and it's I love to see people use these things and kind of do other stuff with it. It's cool. You may do anything you wish. Is this like a travel companion for kimchi? Is that what we're doing? Mushroom golem.
I'm just thinking with other role-playing game-based things that might be down the pipeline that it could be an interesting addition.
Yep. All right, I need to shrink. We're definitely going to do we're doing the full body on this guy.
Nice.
we have our last 50 minutes, less than an hour left.
Wow.
Time flies. So let's see.
So, real question though, are you gonna do like neutral earthy tones to make it like regular mushroom golem?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna do? You're not gonna do the toad from Mario?
I was thinking about it. Maybe I'll do like a little vest. That's like the reference.
Okay.
There'll be a little vest for some reason that like makes no sense. Here we go. We'll draw a little vest here.
Perfect.
But then, yeah, I think for colors, I'm gonna go more.
Nah, I got you.
I like to do the
I can
subtle.
You just do like some headcanon. His voice is still the same.
100%. comes out with his treasure tracker.
But it's like all warped now. It's like
with battle drums. Oh my. There's this little vest.
Question on the all-in pledge. It doesn't list it, but that includes the tarot cards too, right? Either way, I'm in and can't wait. Yes. Yeah, the all-in is it's everything. Everything is included. Unfortunately, for some reason, Kickstarter, like once you put in the rewards, there's no editing it. So unfortunately, we didn't catch that when we were putting it in. But it is, yes, it is everything.
All the things.
Mm-hmm.
Big ol', we're dragging the fists back here.
Oh, can I change my patron stream suggestion from horses to weremares?
I mean, what's wrong with you? You can. I mean, that's one way to get around it. You want 3 hours? So, okay. 3 hours of just drawing horses is bad enough. You want 3 hours of specifically only drawing this type of horse. Wow.
We could even go so far as if that is the theme, we could have the streamers vote on which one makes it into the book. Just throwing it out there.
Why are you
Kevin's
why are you
not talking
encouraging this?
anymore.
Why are you
He's like, this is the end of our.
Why are you encouraging this? You just, you're like, you know what? This has been great. This has been a great relationship. Now I'm going to try to push the limits. It's like, all right, now I need to push as far as I can. Well, they enjoy it. That's just great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So the golems oftentimes in different lore are like animated, right? Like they're brought up through magic.
Yeah.
And I want to know what kind of mind is like, what needs to exist that doesn't? This thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they could summon a golem out of like wood or stone. They're like, no. No, let me show you what's what.
Mushrooms.
It's gonna be
Shroom.
It's gonna be a fungus golem. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like maybe like the spores like bring up little mini golem things. That could be cool.
Yep. I see it just like, the ground. Like you see, like you walk by, right? And you're like seeing everything above the like brown that I just threw on there. So like you see like these mushrooms or whatever, and then it pops up out of the ground and just accumulates elements of its body.
Yeah. I can see it.
Made by a
mycelium lizard.
Yeah, what is this? Do a stream of one.
It's a peculiar specialization there, but I guess whatever floats your boat.
Right. All right, get a little. This. I see these, like sideways ones, is like yellowish orangish kind of color. That's what cartoons has taught me.
Oh yeah.
You always see that in like a cartoon, where they're like, those sideways mushrooms that are in a log in a forest, always.
Uh-huh.
And then you go out on actual hikes, and you're like, where are all the sideways yellow mushrooms on these logs? Very disappointed. Probably have some kind of texture going on here. Patches. Weremere family, miniature, pony, Clydesdale, Arabian, Mustang. I might need to time out people in the chat today. They need a moment. They need a moment to cool down. All right,
Dave, I'm glad you joined the chat.
I mean, it's one way to enter the chat. It's like here's my first time. Now, have I got a conversation I want to participate in? It is nice to see you here, though,
the
Dave.
long game.
I haven't. Dave hasn't been around a little bit. It's been a little while. I mean, there's still a handful of people that have not reappeared since my switch over to Twitch only versus Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, which is okay. I kind of expected that to happen, but I'm starting to draw where. No, you're not, Matt. No, you're not. No, you're not drawing a. Prove it. I think I want to go more white. So yeah, if you guys, as we're in the last like 45 minutes, I know that's still a lot of time, but time flies. Feel free if you've got any other questions about the book or the Kickstarter campaign, or if you want to know more about my guest, the author of the book, now is the time. Feel free to drop them in the chat. And I'll be looking for another suggestion in just a minute. And it will not be
I think
a horse.
I think the chat has probably been taken over by
Nope.
a certain new emergent phenomenon.
They have not. If you acknowledge
no,
it, it'll just give it recognition. That's not how to stream.
But yeah, or any questions about autocracy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything.
I see you've gone for that reddish kind of cap.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
I mean, because Matt's like, I'll stop. Because Toad is so vibrant already, I'm going the opposite. Mute it down a little bit. I think his eyebrows are red.
Maybe this is like Toad's older brother, like
Family reunion.
Grode.
All right, there's our
This is
mushroom golem.
the dark horse of the family.
Does he emit spores? Of course he does. So is a weremere a person who turns into a horse, or a horse that turns into a wolf? Doesn't matter. Yeah, Panda's like, what is happening? What is happening?
How did you find Kevin? Well, that was at the Comic-Con, actually. Last year at the New England Comic-Con. I got in just like super early, thinking that no one else would be there, so I wouldn't have to deal with people, because it's my first Comic-Con ever, so just like trying to minimize like the stress of setup.
And literally, I was next to you.
Yeah, and like literally, Kevin was already like halfway set up.
And right
at the start of the time that you were allowed to come in. I looked at his art. I was like, "Dang, he's good." And then we just got chatting, and the rest is history.
Indeed.
Except for like the being documented by historians thing, but
True.
The rest is past.
What are the suggestions you guys have? I'm scrolling up through. I'm not acknowledging weremere, so that's not a suggestion. I don't see. This chat may have scrolled along too far, but if anybody has any suggestions, especially anybody that hasn't had anything drawn, if you have a fantasy-related suggestion, please feel free to enter that into the chat at this time.
Wendigo and Harpy.
Oh,
Wendigo. That's kind of werewolf adjacent.
it. I did draw.
Balrog. That's a good call one.
What? These are interesting. Balrog. Let me just look. I'm just looking at stuff. Just looking at things. Don't get your hopes up. Yep. Balrog would be fun. I'll do that. I know I've drawn it before, but that was a long time ago. I think that was a 2019 drawing. I find it very interesting.
Oh wow!
When
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah, when something comes up that I know for a fact I've drawn before, but like I wasn't necessarily super proud of it. If I've done something and I like it, I won't tend to redo. I want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I've drawn it. It was good. I'm not gonna draw it again. So what color should I start with on this? I guess red. I was saying earlier I didn't complete the thought, but I'm actually very much right now at this moment starting to feel the effects of snow shoveling for 2.5 hours.
Oh man!
All of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden that really dull kind of soreness is like
Yeah.
like my back and my arms, and I'm like, oh no, here it comes, it's coming. It was not fun.
What was the final accumulation for you?
Oh, I don't know. Enough to be a pain in the butt. That was how much it was. This was like the worst type too. Like this is the worst that you don't want to be shoveling. The one that's like very heavy, it's wet, it sticks to the shovel. So every time you get a nice heavy shovel full and you go, huh, and it's all still on the shovel. That is the worst type to shovel out of the driveway.
Yeah, we got about like a solid 8 inches, I think. I'm like right next to the Appalachian Mountains, so oftentimes we actually get a little bit less than the surrounding areas because it gets caught up on the mountain. But yeah, still.
Yep. Enough to just be a pain. Enough to be a pain. So with this one, I'm kind of like going colors versus like black and white line art.
Ooh. Yeah, I noticed that you often do for Grasslands at least you do a lot of colored line art.
Yeah.
Is that your preferred style or like
That's
what makes you switch it up?
That is when I'm like leaning all the way in. That's like
nice.
like the profesh. Because I feel like colored line art is just like one more step of like really polished work, and not to like devalue not colored line,
like
but
black line art.
For me, I feel like if you take the effort to actually go back and start playing around with colored line art, I feel like that is top tier. But for this, when I do it here, it's more of like a efficiency thing. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to mess around with all like because it's so color heavy that I'm like, I'll just do it in color to begin with.
Right. Yeah.
But
well, I mean, the other artist that I know who does this a lot is Ben, who does like colored line art.
That's because he's a professional.
So obviously, yeah, I was gonna say obviously there's something to it.
He is a professional. It just like I feel like it's a very polished look, like a polished final look. But I mean, I've seen beautiful work that has black and white line art.
Right. Yeah.
But I just feel like it's well, and like you can also play with it a lot more too, and then like it's just really nice.
I feel like there's also a degree of like feeling stylized. Because like you and Ben also have very distinctive art styles.
Yes.
Not to say that all of our people have really great art. But you two, like if you see like a Kevin illustration, it's like that's Kevin.
You can point it out. You can identify the style.
Yeah, and it's the same with Ben too, I think.
Yep.
Because he's got like a lot of like anime influence, but it's also like it's very clearly and distinctively like Western still. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to describe his other than that. I feel like that's pretty good. He's like a lot of stuff with like lighting too.
Yeah, he's great at lighting. That's why I was so. The other day, he was like, "I don't know about what lighting." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that's like the thing I know him for. Is like his lighting is just absolutely out of this world.
But I really did appreciate that follow-up comment. Was like, "Well, what kind of artist would I be if I actually thought I was good at anything?" It's like, that's true. That's fair.
If anyone's curious, by the way, to check out Ben's art, he was the character illustrator for Prometheus, which was our first property. I'll see if I can't fetch a link for that.
Yeah. He does have some socials too.
He does, yes.
He needs to post
Ben,
more.
if you want
artwork
to
on
shamelessly
there.
plug your socials,
You need to put more.
now's the time.
You need to post more though. You need to put a lot more.
This is the Kickstarter for Prometheus, which is just absolutely gorgeous.
Will it let? Tell me if it lets. I don't know if the setting will let you do it or not. Tell me if it posts in the.
It looks like it did.
Okay. All right. I can't remember. Thank you, my dudes. Of course.
You just oh no, you just see stars. Yeah, I think it did get blocked out.
Okay, that's fine. I will.
Here, I'll ping it over to you.
Yeah. You know, sometimes randos.
No,
I haven't verified you yet.
it's fair. It's fair.
Is that
I'm
that was Box?
embarrassed. I didn't realize that I hadn't subscribed to you yet.
Oh well, that's only slightly.
We'll fix that.
All right, copy link. Let me put this in there for you guys. You should be able to see that one. Yeah, that was Box.
Yeah.
That was fish and sea greens and plankton. That was absolutely Box. You 100% saw Box. I drew that forever ago because I had just seen Logan's Run for the first time in my life, and I loved it. And I was like, I was doing the show, and I was like, can somebody please just request Box so I can draw Box? and somebody was like, Kevin, can you draw Box? And I was like, I would love to. Sea greens and plankton, protein from the sea. Oh, I guess it's time to eat you people now, or freeze you into my cabinet of frozen people.
Chat, what are some of your like favorite Hinkle originals? Or not like originals, like you know what I'm saying. Stuff that he's done on the stream.
Oh, I'm all about this. They're gonna say horses. What they're gonna they're gonna say they liked all the horses.
Medusa.
Yeah, the Aztec one, Ray. Horse pool.
Horse pool.
Matt bought horse pool. He owns it. He owns the original horse pool.
Oh wow.
I need to do body. Yeah, thanks Ray. Appreciate it. This thing is just like totally engulfed in flames, and it's actually kind of difficult to
It's pretty cool.
draw. It is cool. In terms of drawing it though. I want to draw this thing.
Darth Maul.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Who's that orange with the sword? What is that?
Which one? What are you
On
talking
the
about?
Jewels of Fame?
Oh, it already went by. Was it a bouncing tangerine with a sword?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's literally all it was. That was actually really cool though, because that person came by the everything has a story. I love it. Came by the stream and he was asked me to draw his original character, which was that dancing tangerine, or that tangerine that was like marching into war with a sword. And I thought it was ridiculous, but it was also really funny. And after that, he said I inspired him to draw again, and he sent me pictures of his own version of that character dancing, or I keep saying dancing, but like bouncing into war. And that was really cool. I was glad that that happened.
Awesome.
There's so many though. Oh yeah, the Snallygaster. That's a local like Loch Ness monster, kind of a Loch Ness-ish monster in the U.S. called the Snallygaster. Oh, oops! I need to fuse these layers together.
So you're local, like in your hometown, or
Not like local to me, but like local in the U.S. I should say.
Right, okay.
I can't remember where it was, but that was drawn on a crossover stream with Ghost Frickin' Talkin' that I was talking about earlier. My spooky friends. When we did like a Halloween episode, which was really fun, over on their channel, so it was not in the family friendly realm, but it was fun.
the Pope Lick monster is a great one. Is this a monster that licks popes, or is this Pope as a licking monster?
I don't know what that is. Pope Lick monster.
These are the questions.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, the Pope Lick monster is like, as in like a lore thing, not as like something you've drawn.
Oh, I was like, I do not remember drawing
I was
this.
like, what? Kevin, what is this?
Yeah, very out of character.
I'm shocked.
Stunned even. All right, now I get.
He lives in Pope Lick. What? Like on the Pope's tongue, or is there a place called Pope Lick? I don't know.
Arts, like, there's so many I can't. There's so many arts. There's hundreds of these. Hundreds. I think there is actually over 1,000. I don't know if there's over 2,000, but there's definitely over 1,000 of these little drawings, which I think is actually kind of mind-boggling when I really think about it. I know I've done a lot of drawings, but I don't remember that yet. I don't remember that. Let's see, Kev, I was thinking nostalgia for next. That's amazing. I mean, we could do cryptids too. It's fine. But nostalgia sounds like I'm all about that. That sounds pretty great. You can, out of those both sound fine to me. So whatever you want to do is fine with me, because you're the guest. I will adapt to whichever one you would like to do.
Yeah, nostalgia's that's a great one, because everyone kind of comes to the table with their own list of like
It's powerful. That's a powerful
all-time
one.
greats. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have time. It doesn't even really need to be locked in until, like, I don't know, like the day before. Because that's when I put up the post saying, hey, we're going to stream tomorrow and our theme is going to be this. Like, that's really the only deadline. Day before.
Is there ever been a theme that you've been like, wow, this was a major success?
Yeah, the ones that I'm the most nervous for, the ones that like I'm really stressed out about, tend to do really well.
Oh, cool.
So, like, I've done a few streams that were like vehicles, because as you are well aware, I'm a lot more comfortable drawing characters and figures and humanoids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not very good at architecture or landscapes or vehicles. And so I've done I did the car one last week, and then I've done vehicles before, and they come out really good. And I think it's because I'm so stressed about it. Like, I'm genuinely stressed, even if it doesn't show. I'm like, I can't draw these. They're not very good. That I, like, force myself to make them really good. So it's weird because when I was getting ready for the city or the car one, I'm like, this is going to be awful, which means they're probably going to be really good. And I was thinking that, like, days before. It's like, it's probably going to be really good, but it's going to be terrible. So a lot of those streams where I'm doing stuff that I personally am not comfortable drawing end up being very good.
Like the horses.
That horse one actually did come out really good, and I hated it. I hate every aspect of that is a reality. It did come out really good. There was a lot of actually really great funny suggestions from that too. Like, I drew like a sawhorse, which I thought was really funny. Like the wooden hobby horses. And then cool. I drew the Trojan horse. Like, there was actually some stuff that I wasn't expecting. The Mustang logo. So, all right, we're just about done with this.
That is awesome, man. Nice job.
Thank you. It's just fire. It's really just a lot of fire. All right, that's probably enough, I think. Look at this batch of people. Oh, we can't forget this guy. This guy. Yeah, we can do a few of our own and talk. Yeah, sure. There are a lot of vehicles, and it's something that because I'm proud of them, but like, yeah, I don't think I get stressed out drawing them. You've done the Phoenix from Battle of the Planets for me, and it turned out, yeah, that's right, I did do that. That's the one that's like on fire, right? It's like a spaceship that's on fire. That's the other thing about this is I draw a lot of stuff that I would probably never draw. You know? Like, I'm not sitting here going, you know what I need to draw today? A mushroom golem. I need to draw a mushroom. That's kind of a really cool thing.
Absolutely.
All right. Why don't you pick our next one from the chat? Whatever people have already said, or you can ask them to ask more. You pick the next thing.
All right. Everyone, just put in the most ridiculous thing that you can think of off the top of your head.
Really
I'll
nice.
pick the most ridiculous one out of them.
And it can't be the Weremare because the project didn't get fully funded. So we made a promise.
It's true. We are. Oh, by the way, everyone, we are only $200 out from being fully funded. There's a $200 price on Weremare.
There's a $200
going right now.
There's a price tag.
Just throwing it out there.
There's a $200 price tag on the Weremare. I need to shrink the speckled unicorn. Can you make this your icon? Can you change this to your Discord icon? After the campaign ends, Luna has to have her time.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Then you can do the unicorn. Move this guy.
All right. So.
Did you pick one?
I'm seeing a modern siren. Let's see. What if we finished on the Grasslands note?
We can. Sure. Should we do another character that's never been seen, or what do you want to do?
Okay. We can either do. I would say. Oh, Dave says, "Ooh." I want to know.
Would you guys rather me draw another one of your suggestions, or do you want to see another character that maybe we have not showed from the book yet?
So I've got one in mind for one that we haven't shown, but we have several characters in there that are pretty darn cool that have been shown before, so it could be interesting.
Was there really another pledge in the matter of minutes that from now 100?
Oh yeah, man, we're really close.
I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. Care Bear Weremare?
Oh my god. The gummy. Oh my god! You know what? I know exactly what we should do. Do Lost as a gummy bear.
Oh my! How did all these universes collapse together? How did this happen? Okay. Fine. Fine. It's all fine. We're all fine here. We're all fine here. Care Bear. Gummy Bear incoming. Yeah, I do have a Gummy Bear clip. If somebody wants to play that. I'm a troublemaker, you know that. But yeah, I have a clip of, and it's art related and Gummy Bear related. I can't believe how many times I've drawn Gummy Bears. It's kind of amazing, actually.
You should approach the Gummy Bear. Was it Haribo? Is it
Right.
the Gummy Bear company?
Reach out to them. Get some.
Yeah, just be like, look, I've got quite a line for you guys.
Listen.
It's gonna shake up the industry.
I don't mean to be full of myself, but
With the power of your corporate empire and my doodles,
right?
we could take over this whole game.
This character I'm doing is Lost, which is another emote. There he is in the chat now, but as a gummy bear. That Bowser gummy bear is coming back. Oh yeah, I did do a Bowser. I've done a lot of gummy bears. All right. See, the key with a gummy bear though is that like the features are so muted. Actually.
Well, what color? Oh, there's a gummy bear on the Duels of Fame.
Oh yeah, that is probably the one that started it all. We can revive Care Bears by crossing them with werewolves. You guys, what does this do for you? See, it's a very delicate balance. Because it has to be like simple, because they don't have a lot of details.
Nowhere care. We can revive Care Bears by crossing them with werewolves. I'd watch that.
Peach Gummy Bear was, yeah, that's right. That was just, you just don't take pride in that work of art. That's kind of true. I don't. It was terrible. But that was really what started all of this, was Princess Peach as a gummy bear. Very true.
I feel like Autocracy branded candy would be a whole thing. I'm trying to think like what you would do, because like Prometheus had a lot of like, you've got the super suits for the Vanguard. So that could be like, I don't know, like moldable figure or edible figurines or something. And then, Grasslands is all goofy.
Why are you
gummy
doing
bears.
this? Why are you doing this?
What? I don't know. My mind wanders.
I want to have a whole new line. Why? All right, I think red. Red has to be his color.
Red, yeah.
Probably. And you're welcome. God, yes. Look what's happening. Look how fast it de-escalates into something ridiculous. I think I found a little mixture here of detail on this, I think. Who knows?
We didn't even talk about ruin candy.
That'd be like little fake human bones. Like,
or like the black crystal would be like rock candy.
This is man flesh. That would be that would be one of the flavors, to be honest.
That would be one of the flavors. Oh my gosh! Yeah, you are we are just over 100 out from being backed.
Well, that's kind of amazing. Thank you for those of you that have done this, even if it was with ill intent to force me to draw something I don't want to draw. That's okay.
That was very kind and generous of you guys.
It's fine. Time is running out, though. 15 minutes left on this stream. Okay, did I want to... Yeah, I wanted it to be somewhat see-through like that. That's what I wanted. And let's do... I think this one, we'll do some colored line art, I think, on this one. Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
Dave says, you ask, we deliver, much to your chagrin. Or chagrin. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, thank you for those that did support. Even if it was to watch me suffer, I do appreciate it. You'll enjoy the book no matter what. Okay, that's done, I think.
I would eat that gummy bear.
It's like, it's enough to where, like, if you don't know the source material, you're like, I don't know what this is. But if you know what the source material, you're like, oh yeah, that works. I think about like my son has his vitamins in the morning. He has like gummy vitamins, and they are Paw Patrol, the dogs, the cartoon Paw Patrol, and like you look at them and you're like, there's no way you'll know what this is. It is like all the details gone, right? But it's enough. Okay, I think so. Like a little more than 10 minutes. $77 to go. You guys are. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? I'm not. There was a KS for spicy gummy bears. Spicy.
So, just to tag on to an answer I gave earlier about grassroots campaigning, apparently the answer is being
Torture?
in league with Kevin's chat. That seems to be an important
my
element.
ill fortune.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, I think I'm gonna do. What do I want to end this with? Not a lot of time really to do much of anything.
Ooh, what about the autocracy logo?
Sure, we'll do that. Oh, you know what I want to do? Okay.
Ooh, what?
I want to draw Henry.
Oh, yes. Henry.
I need to draw Henry, and then hopefully, it only takes me a couple seconds to do the logo. It's not that difficult. Let me go look at a picture.
Henry is he's a mechanical humanoid from Ruin that is it's kind of like a steampunk C-3PO in terms of his general vibe.
I love this where it's like, we are your adoring fans who wish to see you all succeed and draw what we don't want you to draw. Bubble, where is the add-on for an extra art print? All the art prints. All the art prints, huh?
That's right. Yeah, Ben is the voice actor for Henry.
Oh, where's their voices?
In the trailer for Kickstarter.
I don't think I've ever seen
We always
that
do
one.
those animated trailers.
Actually, you know what? To be honest, I'm be totally honest. I know I've seen the Prometheus ones. I don't think I've ever seen the actual full trailer for Ruin.
No way, really?
No.
It's so good.
I think I've seen like some of the littler ads, like the looping ads and stuff. And I think I saw like a whatever you want to call it, like a teaser trailer for the trailer. But I've definitely have not seen anything with voice acting.
Not seen the full. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll link you to it after the.
Is
the
it?
stream
I mean,
is
I
done.
assume it's somewhere. Isn't it somewhere?
Yeah, it's on Kickstarter.
See, that's one of my. I didn't go
Yeah.
back to look at the old projects.
No, it's really good. It's not as good as the Grasslands one, just because we've learned how to do more stuff. But it's pretty good.
I'll definitely have to. I can definitely confirm I have not seen anything with Ruin and voice acting. That has not happened.
That's right, because you would have seen it when we were at the Comic-Con, because I was running the loop that had Ruin stuff. Is that where you saw it from, or did I just show you on my phone?
Without voice acting, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've seen like a sponsored
you definitely
ad.
saw a little clip.
I've seen like sponsored ads, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I remember seeing like the airship moving, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely not on the YouTube channel. I don't think, right?
No, I don't think it is.
For shame. We have made this beautiful asset now to hide it from the world. I need to check that out. I definitely have not seen that.
Definitely, yeah. Ruin is it's a really fun adventure. It kind of reminds me of like Treasure Planet, like that kind of steampunk vibe where it's just but like also there are cannibals and it's dark.
There are cannibals and it is dark.
There are cannibals. That is true. But it's like a dark Treasure Planet.
That trailer you linked everywhere. No, not that trailer. Not the trailer for Grasslands. The trailer for the book that came out before Grasslands, which was Ruin. Which is what this character that I'm drawing is from.
Yeah. Oh, we got a question. How did you decide to make a coloring book for the campaign? We kind of just were brainstorming on different things that we might like if we were backing something like this, and things that we've seen mentioned before for other people in this space. And one of the big ones was the coloring book. And a coloring book it's very doable. You just have to, if you have a lot of art assets already that are like color assets, it's just a matter of switching off the layers.
Yep.
So like it's a very doable thing to add, but something that we felt like a lot of people would probably like. So yeah, that was the thought process. It does seem like we've got a decent number. We've got like 5 backers for the artist bundle. And then of course everyone that's like at a tier above that, like a lot of people are getting one included.
I'm pretty sure I think my sister is one of the ones that did the artist one, because I remember she sent me a message. She goes, I want to know which is the thing that I get the most of your artwork from. And I was like, I think it's going to be this one. And so she was keen on that.
Yeah, I mean the characters in Grasslands are very memorable. So I kind of, once we realized what we were going to do, and like we had those design calls and the characters were coming out, and they were just so like I think we were even talking about back then, right, Kevin? Like way before the actual Kickstarter was in development.
What,
We were
coloring
like,
book?
could we do this? Yeah, like could we do this?
I do remember.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I remember being asked that. And I was like, yeah, I'll just uncheck the color layer. You got it.
Yeah.
Not a problem. So this is Henry. I to be honest, like you guys know, I draw really quick on this, but I think if I was to really give it a shot, I'd probably stylize it even more. I think that's what I would probably do.
Henry's such a fun character.
Yeah, he's also incredibly strong and terrifying when he needs to be.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for all the questions today too. It's awesome.
No, it's been great.
Campaign and lose life. Tell us about your
No, yeah, thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah.
Definitely would love to be back sometime.
Absolutely. Shout out to Scott Bowman last week, who was my patron that was on, and he was really keen to join and help. And I was like, you know what? This is the motivation I need to finally get the audio issues worked out, to have people on the stream to begin with. So he kind of pushed me to make it work. now that that's sorted out, hopefully I'll have more people on and keep going. Also, look at bringing back the multiplayer where I have a guest artist on too. So see, Ben will be there to help bring that little tradition back too next week. I haven't done that since I switched over, just because, like I said, the syncing up the audio and stuff was confusing. So I was like, I'll figure it out later.
Oh.
It's magic. This
It-
is almost $70 to
Kevin.
wear mare.
Kevin,
better-
at 7:58 p.m., Grasslands was funded at 101%.
You're. I'm gonna look at the. I don't believe you. You're just trying to mess with me.
No.
You're. I hate. I mean, I love. I hate to love. Well, let me see.
Oh man. All right. Well, certainly anyone who's in the chat
come on.
today, if you're if you're in the chat for next week with Ben, you guys can start to brainstorm on some of the possible ideas here. So much potential. Thank you everyone for your support. It was really
thank you.
breathtaking.
I mean, you guys just want to watch me. Oh, okay. You guys are awesome, but also, we'll talk about that later. I can't believe him. Wow. Dabs. We got dabs. We got all kinds of people who are like I can't believe it. Aren't you? You're so conflicted. I'm very conflicted. That's the last thing I want to draw. Oh,
I will start iterating on the
Mare.
the manuscript tomorrow.
I can't. I mean, really, that's super awesome, guys. Thank you very, very much.
It's amazing.
I'm not. I have
Man.
no choice but to assume this is out of wanting to watch me draw something I really don't want to draw, but I'll take it. Oh my goodness. This is the key. Never admit your. I know. Don't ever say the weakness. Matt, I've drawn a detailed weremare. I'll DM you soon.
It's important. We got to get this right, you know?
So when you're putting together future campaigns, remember to.
Hold it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Any
Thank you,
last
John Y.
words?
Any last words? That's actually very appropriate. Any last words? Just take whoever's like the artist on the project, force them to put them on stage.
Yeah. Just make them really uncomfortable.
Maybe like, what do you really? Tell me what you really don't want to draw. It's like, okay, it'll be very effective. We have such a high turnover rate that we don't understand.
I don't understand why.
Oh man. I hope you guys enjoy what you've done. That's super. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but I'll take it. I'll take it. You guys are awesome. And right there at the end too, literally like Indiana Jones. And
I know. It's like 2 minutes to go.
Come on. All right, we need to get some browns. Also, just about done with this too.
It'd be interesting. One thing we've talked about before is having different artists work in like different universes. So like having, like a ruin in the future that's done by Kevin, or like Brandon working in kind of like a surreal Grasslands. Brandon is he does like more painterly sort of illustrations.
Yeah. Beautiful
Yeah.
stuff. Different
really
level.
beautiful stuff.
That's masterclass. I'm like over here. I'm at the kids' table. I'm like, all right, hold on. We're gonna put some nice vibrant colors on this. I think it would be really cool to see, like I've mentioned before, even if it's just like a singular thing, like a singular image, but like getting
Yeah, like a one-off. Yeah.
getting the different artists from the different things to like change places for a single drawing or whatever. Like, all right, one spread, right? Like take one, and let's just see it. I think that'd be kind of neat.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would. Not that I'm not happy with this drawing, but I think I would probably push it further if I was thinking about it. Take my time, stylize it more. Thank you for a wonderful stream, you lads. Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I know it's really, really late for you over there. I know sometimes sleeping is a thing, but I still appreciate how late it is. So thank you for staying up and hanging out.
Yeah, shout out to all of our English peeps who are watching us at 1 a.m.
Yeah, you hear that, Matt Elder? You finally got some recognition. He's in the UK. He made his choice. He's here. He's fine. No, I'm really happy. He brought back he's an artist as well, and he does some art streaming on YouTube, and it's a similar kind of format to this where people can make suggestions and stuff. So, and he's been on the show before.
Oh, nice.
He's been on the show and been a guest artist. Also likes to torture me with horses, so thank you. I think this is probably good. I think for what I wanted to. Well, let me do something like here in the ribs. Yeah. That's it. And look, 801, 801. We're done. We're finished. So
That's awesome, man.
now that we are concluded, I'm going to take you guys on a quick tour. I'm going to show off all the stuff we did and say our goodbyes, and then we will find another artist who is streaming right now, and we will go and check out what they're doing. So today, fantasy. Today's theme was fantasy, obviously, as I mentioned over and over
Wow.
again. Thank you.
You did these?
Thank you so much.
Freehand?
Yep.
I'm really proud of you. Thanks, Ben. Hits me in the heart. So, fantasy in celebration of Grasslands on Kickstarter right now, apparently fully funded because we made a silly promise. So that's not what's going to happen. But hey, we are people of honor. We will not shy away from what we have committed on live on the internet, unless of course I delete this stream. I won't do that. Don't worry. It'll be here. Don't worry.
No, it's already written in stone, everyone.
It's already written.
It's happening.
There's been too many witnesses. So there's a link.
It has been foretold.
If you want to check it out, link is in the chat. Grasslands fantasy novel, and that is what we're celebrating today with our fantasy theme. So we've got a unicorn. I was perfectly fine without it having glasses, but Lou insisted, so there they are. There it is. This is definitely not a human. This is definitely not a human.
Well, how does that even help its eyesight? I love it so much.
Yeah, it's like the eyes look this way. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't ask. We've got a werewolf. This kind of started this, I think, this whole conversation. This is like a classic Universal's monsters werewolf. We got Rivali from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have DM you on Instagram. I wear mare. I drew wall listening. Let me see this. You're lying. You didn't do this. Oh, I have a notification. Oh, get out of here. See, look, you can do it. You can do the project. Here, can I show? Let me see. Let me see if I can open it up. I think I can, actually. Instagram. Sorry, stand by, everybody. No, don't do that. I like that Instagram works a lot better on desktop now. Oh, have I have I have literally never signed into my personal Instagram account on my desktop. Only my business account. That's great. Can I switch? No. I'm sorry.
Hi, Kevin.
Who just said hi to me? Oh, hi, Hawkeye Lego Man. That's really great, though. That's pretty awesome. I can't believe it. And thank you for the congratulatory message. So, Rivali, Breath of the Wild. And then we've got this orc from Lord of the Rings, who's talking about man flesh. This was what we started with. This is Banana Man. This is a character from Grasslands. You guys will see him
Wow. You did these freehand?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. This is Henry, who is a clockwork robot man from the book Ruin, which is another Authocracy book. Came out just before Grasslands. Now I get the banana. Yes, there was a reason for the banana bubble. This is another character from Grasslands as a gummy bear. Here is a Balrog in the flames. We've got this was a pretty good one. This is probably a breakout star from today's episode. The mushroom golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the unexpected victor of today. And then we've also got this D&D creature, which was called like a Dodokin or something, I think. So some kind of dragon creature. And yeah, I'm Lou. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Just in case, remember, that's not what I wanted to say. If you're just joining in here at the end, Lou's been on with me today through the whole stream, conversing about all kinds of stuff. He is the author of Grasslands, which is one of the main reasons why he's here. Not that he can't just come on for funsies, but so we thank you guys for all of your support of the book. Is greatly appreciated. Can't believe.
Yeah, we so appreciate it.
I really can't believe it got funded tonight. That was not expected. But now we got to draw this thing. So, if there's anything you would like to talk about or share with the audience, Lou, feel free to do that. I'm going to find another artist streamer to raid, so I need a couple minutes just to look.
Yeah. So now that we are funded, we will be sending out a message sometime probably early next week, so like Monday, Tuesday, where we'll ask you guys about favorite characters to think about for prints, and maybe doing some polling on what might be some interesting stretch goals. So think about it and see what you think, and thank you so much again for coming out here and supporting Kevin.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Have a good night.
I do appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. So I'm just waiting for this guy's ad to stop, so I could see what he's. Oh, he's not drawing. He's playing a game. All right, sorry. Stand by. You're not drawing. You're not drawing. I move on. Okay, here we go.
Matt says, great to have you on, Lou. Oh, thanks. Thank you.
They just like other human beings. They're like, we get tired of Kevin all the time. He's boring. What was your favorite one from today? Favorite doodle from today?
Oh gosh, that's hard to pick. I think like my favorite rep was probably Rivali, because I just love Legend of Zelda so much. But
It's pretty great.
in terms of like my favorite thing as a work of art, gotta go with Toad's older brother.
Nice. Does this person have... Oh, hey, actually, I was just thinking, so we streamed another artist a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, and unfortunately, right when we jumped over there, and Ray, I know you were there. Thanks for watching. Huge shout out to all the amazing folks who support my work over on Patreon. Patrons have access to a ton of exclusive content, such as high-resolution files of all the artwork I drew during this episode. They even have opportunities to directly impact projects I'm working on with their input and get real gifts in the mail every single month. Check out patreon.com/MrHinkleDraws to join me along my art journey. Be well, and I'll catch you next time.